and thanks for joining us for day 2, round 2 of the FIM Asia Road Racing Championships. We're coming to you live from the Bend Motorsport Complex down under in Australia. Yes, that's right, we're in Australia for the first time, joining the Australian Superbike Series, but we're not talking about them now because it's all about us, and that is the Asian Road Racing Championships. We've got 3 classes coming your way today: the Underbone 150s, of course the AP 250s, and then the big boys come up later on, the SuperSports 600s. Meng Heng is joining me as always. He's our expert commentator and knows everything there is to know about this championship. Of course, he's been a long-time motorcycle rider and racer and raced in many events around the world. And of course, down in pit lane, we've got Wei Ling as well, and she'll be catching up with our riders and giving us some grid interviews. So that's going to be very interesting. We've already had 3 races on our program that were run yesterday. And I guess the first thing I need to ask you, Meng Heng, is how do our Asian riders find the track?
I think all of them really like this track now. This the new band, the band, and they got flowing corners, and definitely it's a challenge for all the teams and the riders here, because this is new, and definitely everybody wants to win here. So let's see for the second race how it goes later on.
The thing that I will say about the weather that we've had here this weekend, it was hot when we arrived.
Yeah, I think looking at on the TV just now, it was like 29.2 degrees outside at the moment.
Yeah.
So I think there shouldn't be a problem for all the Asian riders here.
Yesterday afternoon, though, when we had the 600 Supersports, if you tuned in, you would have seen that we had to abandon the race because of various reasons. I mean, how are those 600 Supersport riders feeling about that?
I think I've spoken to a few teams this morning, and I think hopefully that the weather will stay like what we have now at the moment. They have like 29.2 degrees, so hopefully by the time when they race later on and have a good, really hot track, then I think that will be alright for all the riders.
That's good. Well, I guess it's time to have a look at, of course, the Underbone 150 class. Azat Zaidi leads the championship at the moment on 58 points. And as far as a team point of view goes, the RCB Yamaha YY Pang Racing team is also on 58 points. So a good matching there. Is that the sort of thing that you would expect from Azat Zaidi to come into a new track like this and win and put himself in the lead of the championship?
Yeah, this, like I say, this Underbone race bike, I mean, like, it's very hard to predict that who's going to win, you know, and the team, definitely there are a few favorite teams there, like Uma Racing team.
Yeah.
They won the championship last year, and now they are, I think, 9th in the championship, the team. So, like I say, this Underbone races is really, really very tricky and tough to predict all this.
There's our poleman, of course, Helmi Azman, and he didn't win the race yesterday. We thought that he may have, but it was close. He ended up getting 2nd in yesterday's race. Do you think he can go one better today?
Yeah, hopefully, and definitely I think all the teams are going to do some changes on the machine, you know, of course for the riders to learn more about the tracks, and I think they're going to be good race later in the...
Wayu's always a hard charger, isn't he? And a guy that performs well on his Underbone machine. Yeah,
I mean, he's a thinking rider more than, you know, going with guts and all this, you know. He's a brain rider, that's why you need to look out for him also.
Hazik, another front row starter here, of course, and he unfortunately didn't finish yesterday's race, so I think it's important for him to get a good result today.
Yeah, I think the team will tell him, you know, just go and get some points or get points, or that's the most important thing.
There's a massive crowd here as well. There's a bit of a look of the Australian outback for you, looking all around the world. If you want to know what it's like, Tail and Bend is put in the middle of a big, open, vast expanse. But thankfully, we're very lucky, and we're very lucky to have the Asian Road Racing Championship here this weekend. McKinley Kyle Paz, good result for him.
Yeah, he was there yesterday until he crashed out 2 corners away from the checker flag.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate result for him, but there's a massive field of Underbone riders that have come down to Australia and made their way here. It's very good to see all of these guys. There is that Zaidi, of course, the winner from yesterday, and the man who's leading the championship at the moment. Good to see him. He's on that 58 points. It is very tight at the top, though, with Helmi Azman just a few points behind him. Amrul Arif Musa, of course, from Malaysia on the Uzi Honda Vietnam racing team. He lines up on the grid. Just see they're having a last-minute stretch. It must be fairly stressful for these guys. Do you want to run us through the tyres, please?
I think I've got some interesting tyres location for all the teams. At the moment, look at Helmi Azman is using medium.
Medium?
Yeah,
wow.
And then YU is using hard compound. And Finals is using medium. I think half of them using medium, half of them using...
How do you think that's going to play out? I mean, we've already seen how aggressive this track is. It's a 7-lap race. But do you think those guys with the hard tyres, will they have looked at the race yesterday? I guess most guys yesterday used the hard compound tyre. They may have looked at that last night and decided that, well, they might be able to get away with a medium.
I think for this, I think because of the Underbone bike, they don't have such a big horsepower compared to the 250s or the 600s. So I think the medium is usable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. But they're taking a risk there.
Okay. Yeah. A little bit of a risk. Are there any other tracks around on the circus that these guys would consider using a medium, or is this like the first time you've seen it?
First time saw them using medium to race.
Wow, that's a really interesting choice for those guys, especially Helmi Azman, who finished second yesterday in the race for his SCK Rapido High Rev Honda racing team, starting out there on the grid at the moment. There's Sam Phillips, our man with the flag. Of course, these guys have already done a sighting lap. In a minute, they'll head off on their warm-up lap, and then the race will get underway. It's 7 laps around this circuit, 4.95 kilometres long, 15 metres wide. It's a very wide circuit as well.
Yeah, I mean, quite wide compared to other tracks, but they've got some more bigger tracks, like especially Urahara. Actually, it's about the same size as the bend, but the bend here, they got a lot of undulation.
Yeah.
Track up and down.
Yeah, and I guess having talked to the riders as they head off on their warm-up laps, just doing a couple of little wheelies. It's always good to do a wheelie to warm yourself up and to get rid of those nerves. Some beautiful drone footage here today as well, which will really show us the slipstreaming effect as they head down into turn 1. But I mean, these guys, will they have brand new tyres on their bikes now, or will they have already run them in?
Yeah, brand new. I think when they go out, they just scrub the tyres.
Yep.
Come back for the warm-up lap, then the race.
Yeah, absolutely. So pressures are another thing that I know that the guys have been playing around with, especially in some of the other classes, just to try and get that little bit of extra grip on this track. It's very slippery, we've known about that, but let's just have a quick look at the grid. Row 1, Helmi Azman, of course, Wayu in second position. Hakiz rounds out your front row with Cole McKinley Paz as well on row 2, Zat Zaidi, and then of course Amrul Arif Musa. Row 3's Adib Rosalie, Travis Hall, and Effendi Rosalie rounds out row 3. Ayman Azman for row 4, Sharal Amin, and then of course Gupta Kresna, number 23 there, rounds out row 4. Ahmed Fazil on row 5, and Haikul is there as well, and Nguyen in number 15. Of course, row 6 and row 7, a kid is in 17th position, and Fakuruzi Saikarin on number 65 starts row 6.
Yeah, these two guys, the two guys are capable of winning the race here. So they will start from behind.
Why are they so far back if they're capable of winning?
Qualifying, I think they're having problems with the machine.
Wow, yeah.
So they have to, maybe after 2 laps, the machine can't really go, then they have to start from the back of the grid.
So do you think it's possible to win the race from the last row of the grid in this class?
Yeah, I think Akid Azid did it once.
From the last row.
From the back of the grid, and still win the race. So.
Wow. That's an incredible start. Of course, these guys are out there now. They're just bedding everything in, bedding the brake pads in, warming everything up to temperature. And of course, they had a warm-up very early on this morning, quite a few hours ago. So they'll also be just trying to get their eye in. Most of them are pretty young and inexperienced, but there are a few guys out there that are underbone specialists as well, so we'll be keeping an eye on those in the race. There's that turn 17. We saw some big crashes there yesterday, and some really good overtaking spot for this underbone class.
So is there any prediction?
My prediction, Wayu on the Yamaha, I think, is gonna give it a good nudge today. I'm not sure what you think, but that's my prediction.
Okay. I think my prediction will be definitely going for maybe Helmi Azlan.
Helmi Azlan?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he got so close yesterday, didn't he? There he is, of course, as he pulls up to his grid position on the number 32 machine on his Honda.
I think all of them going to be close this race.
So we get ready for a start. 7 laps. Red flag is now leaving the course. Keep an eye on the lights. They're ready for a start, and they're off. Azlan just missed the start a little bit there, but he flew off into the lead. Look at that. He just must have let that clutch out perfectly, and he's already got 2 or 3 bike lengths of a lead as they head into turn 1. But one thing that we do know about this class, that means absolutely nothing at this point. 26 there, of course, is Hakiz is just behind him as well, but we want to keep an eye on the guys from the last row of the grid that you said may come through. Okay, so I want you to keep an eye on them as they come through the pack, and we can see if we can remake a miracle here today in the Underbone 150 class. Coming to you live from Tail and Bend in Australia for the first weekend ever. As they head down to the corner, it's number 26, of course. Hakiz in the lead at the moment, but Azlan just around the outside into the hairpin. This has proven to be a really good overtaking point on this circuit, but once again, these guys, they do have to take it easy. A lot of team orders out there as far as bring the bike home in one piece, get some points.
Yes, that's the most important thing. I think all the team managers will tell the riders, like you say, bring the bike home, take the checker flag, and get the points. That's the most important thing.
It's, I mean, it's incredible when I look at these bikes just to see how they handle out there on track. They really do look like little race bikes. They look nothing like the machine that you would expect to see in the workshop.
Yeah, in the workshop. Normally, like I said yesterday, it's like you bring your kid to school, you take the kids on the bike, to school. This type of machine that we use back home in Malaysia or Indonesia. So now they use it as a race bike here. But looks like Haziq and Helmi is pulling away from the pack.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? They've got a really good start, and of course, I mean, part of the reason for that could be, remember that these guys haven't ridden these machines for quite a while now, as looks like Haziq heads into the lead into turn 17. A nice move there, and was that Effendi Rosalie just slipping through as well?
Yeah, I think that's McKinley.
McKinley.
Just overtake Effendi Rosalie.
Okay, McKinley Kyle Paz is making a move forward as well onto this big long straight. Be interesting to see if they can get towed along up to those 2 guys. But once again, we saw it yesterday, the 2 guys out front seem to be working together.
Yeah, I think they have what 1.3 seconds at the moment ahead.
Yeah, that's a pretty impressive lap time by those guys. Just to put it into perspective, 2 minutes 18.3 was the lap record set yesterday by McKinley Kyle Paz. Of course, very, very fast around this circuit, so we'll keep an eye on those lap times as well. They're doing 2:21s from a standing start, so looks like things are a little bit more serious this time out. Big group of guys there as they head back around the circuit. They're all tucked in under the screen. Everyone seems to be riding very cleanly this weekend.
Yeah, everybody is like behaving.
Yeah, well, it is early in the weekend, isn't it? So we just saw Helmi Azlan make a move up the front there, and that big bunch doing everything they can to try and get through Kyle Paz there, with Gupta Kresna just behind going around the outside there. It's difficult to do it at that point. He can't quite do it, but he can cut to the inside here.
Yeah, I'm looking at Akid Aziz at the moment. He's fifth now from back of the grid just now. Now he's come up to fifth.
That's incredible, isn't it? He may as well have just turned up on Saturday and done the race. Started from the back of the grid. Wasted a few tyres. But no, he's obviously, it's a very difficult track to learn, this one. And he is doing everything in his power to make his way forward.
Aziz, I think he's fourth now.
Wow, that's an incredible ride through the pack from him. Obviously, I don't know what the problems was he had in qualifying. Do you know? Or
I'm not sure. I think something broke the piston.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. One thing I will say about these bikes is they are very. Oh, look, here we go.
That's what they're gonna do. Teamwork.
Work together. Yep.
Stream, try to pull away from the back.
Yep. So even though they're from, that's not going to help Helmi Azman. Keep it on the track. It's a little bit like cycling here, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that little message didn't work out, although he's in the slipstream again now. And Hakiz, let's have another look. The hand comes off the handlebar. No, this is after that. Last corner. I'll tell you what, he's getting some pretty good grip on the grass with his Dunlop slicks, isn't he? So
getting better now.
But this straight is just so long for these little machines. And of course, just behind those two, Akid and McKinley.
Both teammates, so I think they will start to work together to catch up with Helmi and Haziq.
Yesterday's race winners down in 8th position at the moment. So Azat Zaidi, of course, on the Yamaha machine, has got a little bit of work to do, unfortunately for him. But what is the gap to the leader for him? It's
I think they are like what?
Yeah,
4.3 seconds now, I think.
Yeah. So that's pretty impressive stuff. But these boys are not mucking around, because the lap record last time out was 2:18.3, but the top three guys have just smashed it by going into the 2:17.6.
2:17.6 done by Akid Aziz.
Yeah, that's a pretty impressive lap time by Akid Aziz. I've got a feeling that we might see it fall a little bit more before the end of this race. Just as they head down once again through the pack.
The gap is getting bigger, you reckon?
Yeah, well, the lap, it's a 2.1 second gap now that the two guys in front have got over this group. But the one thing I've noticed is when the groups form, they seem to drag each other along,
yes.
Especially on the straight as they head up there on the hill. Everyone's having a look behind them though, because if the other two guys out front do disappear, I mean, that gap is massive.
Yeah, it's getting bigger. I think both of the riders, Helmi and Haziq, working together now, slipstream each other and get the top speed and make the fastest time there.
Yeah, do you think it could be something to do with the fact, I mean, this is very unusual for Underbone racing. Normally it's bang, bang, bang all the way to the end of the race. But, I mean, do you think it could be this track? I mean, it's basically corner. They don't really have a straight here. There's just the start-finish straight that we're looking at
rolling
now.
Corners here.
Yeah.
The stop and go corners different.
How much effort do these guys, how much?
Now you can see the lead is like, what, 4.4 seconds in front.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? A 4-second lead. But, and I know why though, because Helmi Azman, although he's just moved into second position, has just once again set a new lap record. So Helmi Azman, 2:16.8, pretty impressive lap time for him as the rest of the field go by. Oh, big moment there, but saved. I wasn't quite sure who that was, but they got awfully lucky. Lost the front, but lost a lot of places as well.
Yeah,
so
I think that is Amirul Arif Musa, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Uzi Honda.
Okay, that's definitely not what he wants to be doing. Meanwhile, back at the hairpin, great overtaking opportunities to be had here as they head down again through the section. Here we go, let's have another look. He heads into the corner. Whoa, just loses the front, stays on top of it. That was like a Marc Marquez save.
Yeah.
He lost it for quite a while there.
And bring the bike up back again.
Yeah, so whatever the setting he had in the front there, or whatever line that he took, probably needs to adjust that for next time round. Seems to be settling down now. Those two guys out front, they've got that 4-second lead.
Yeah, now you can see, I think that is Shahrul Amin in front of Akid Aziz.
Yeah.
Oh, that's McKinley. He's making a break from Akid Aziz.
Yeah. Oh, Akid Aziz, he started from the last row of the grid, is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Wow. That's an impressive ride for him. Perhaps he won't be able to win this one, but he's certainly in the fight for the podium.
You can see even Fakrusi, number 65 now, start from back of the row just now. Now he's...
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, unfortunately, Fakrusi yesterday was a DNF. He was one of the guys that fell off on his SCK Rapido High Rev Honda Racing Team machines. So, unfortunately for him, it wasn't a good day yesterday, but today is turning out to be a lot better. Now, why is he looking behind himself?
He went on the curb and something knocking. I think he just turned around and looked.
Just double checking
Yeah, double
everything's
checking
okay.
exhaust or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As we head into turn one, you can just see how massive this racetrack is when you have a quick look at it. Of course, McKinley Kyle Paz there with a little handy lead. He's got about 0.6, 0.7 of a second over the rest of the group. But the rest of the group are starting to get serious. Who do you think in this mid-group here? Is there anyone that can make their way forward?
I think it will be Akid Aziz and maybe Fakrusi or maybe Gupita, three of them.
Yeah, okay, so they're the strongest guys. Which guy, and I mean it's a difficult question to ask because all of these guys are highly talented, but which one out of this group do you think is going to be the next major talent to come out of Asia?
I think they got a couple of them inside there. You can see Akid Aziz there,
Yeah,
Fakrusi, even the Indonesian Gupita Krishna,
yeah,
and of course I think some of them are veteran like Fendi Rosli, Wayu. They are quite sometimes in this class.
yeah, okay, yeah. So do many people ever come back from perhaps the 250 class or even the 600 class and race? And can you, if you want to, race in both classes on the same day?
At the moment, you can do that, but at the moment we don't have anybody doing that.
Well, I think that'd be crazy to do it because I think these guys really play for keeps, don't they? It's amazing to see that that they do that. But right, for this point in time, these guys are Underbone 150 experts, and way out front, it's Helmi Azman with another lap record. Oh, who's that?
Wayu, I think.
Oh, no, that was my pick.
Yeah.
Wayu was going to win the race.
Wayu, I think, yeah, I don't know how he crashed.
The Yamaha Racing Indonesia machine. Let's see if we can have a look there. He's gone in hot. Oh, he's just tipped into the back of, I'm not sure who that was in front of him, but it was probably just went a little bit too hard there, and it's all over him. He's found his bike, picked it up. I mean, how damaged do these bikes get? If it was a 600, it'd be game over, but can he pick it up and keep going?
Yeah, it depends on, let's say, the handlebar definitely will be alright.
Yeah,
But
okay.
if the fairings never come out, that's the problem.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back out front, these two guys, they know that they've got a very decent lead now. They've eked it out to 4.5 seconds with a couple of laps to go, so they won't be wanting to do anything too silly just yet. Maintain form.
Oh
no!
Problem, I think.
Oh no!
Oh.
Helmi Azman has got some sort of mechanical problem there. He's pulling off to the side of the track. He's looks like his engine stopped.
Yeah, sees something, I think the piston or something like that. That's my pick.
That is not what he wants, is it? What a horrible, horrible way to finish the race. He didn't do anything wrong, and with 2 laps to go, that puts Hakiz way out in front, and McKinley Cole Paz says thank you very much because he now takes up second position.
Oh, that's why he's coming back. You can see he's holding the howling of the bike.
Yeah. That's unfortunate for Wayu. There's Hazik, of course, now. He is just out in front. He's got a massive lead, 4.5 second lead. And I just can't believe that we saw Helmi Azman do that with 2 laps to go. He had pretty much at worst, he could have finished second if he'd have finished the race. So for the championship, that's not going to bode too well for him either. He was second in the championship after yesterday's races. But depending on how Wayu goes, well, Wayu, who was third in the championship, had a problem as well, so maybe he's going to get away with it. Zaidi, who leads the championship, is in 8th, so
the winner of yesterday's race is
Yeah.
Zaidi. Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully Zaidi's going to, it's going to tighten things up at the front because all of the major players have fallen out.
Got to get the points to lead the championship again.
Yeah, absolutely. But look at her Kiz. Her Kiz is giving it absolutely everything he's got as he heads into that last lap.
I'm looking at the timing now and on the screen 1, 2, 3. All of them are same team.
Yeah.
That's the Majumoto team, like I told you. They're at number 9.
Yeah.
So now 1, 2, 3.
Oh wow. Okay. So 1, 2, 3.
As you can see, then Gupita Krishna is coming in.
Yeah, that's good to see as well. Gupita Krishna, he's come at the right time. And now this is what we live for in these Underbone 150 races. This is the last lap battle for the last spot on the podium as well. So now things are starting to get serious, and we can see the elbows are coming out as they head into the last 4.95 kilometres of this bend, the circuit they call the bend, sorry. Where do you need to be now in this at this point?
I think I need to be around second or third.
Second or third. As we head in under braking, once again they all get through there clearly. One of them sweeps around, I think it's Adib Rosalie, sweeps around the outside. There's a whole bunch of them there fighting for that podium position, from a kid through to Sharul. Gupta's in there, Effendi Rosalie's there, Zat Zaidi, yesterday's winner's in there, Fakarusi's there as well, and so is Adib Rosalie, all within a tenth of a second. It's only going to take one guy to make a mistake, and I don't know who it's going to be, but
It's going to be close.
it is going to be super close. Number 36 in the middle of the pack, of course, that's Effendi Rosalie, and he is looking for a way through. Oh, bit of a moment there as they head down the straight, slipstreaming. A kid.
Amin there. I think Shahrul Amin passed.
Oh, a moment.
I think
Bit of a moment, bit of a touch, but still manages to maintain the lead of that pack. But way out front, Hakiz. Hazik has got no problem at all, has he?
Yeah, no problem. He's alone riding now. He's have a 5.3 second ahead.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to make any mistake, but he still goes out onto the ripple strip as we head down the hill into the penultimate corner. It's going to come down to this final corner. This is the hardest braking spot on the circuit. Will anyone... Yeah, they're all around. Look at Hazik. Hazik crosses the line and wins the race, but the battle for the next positions, it should be McKinley Cole Paz who comes through.
Shahrul Amin.
Cheryl Min's got the run to the line, but there's a bit of a run. Who gets it? Who gets it? McKinley Paz takes...
Akid Aziz third. 1, 2, 3 belongs to the same team.
Wow. So they're going to go home rather happy, aren't they?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's what an incredible race that turned out to be. But an unusual race because normally we don't see that sort of space between the riders.
Especially Underbone.
Yeah, but Hazik was definitely the winner there today. He did a great job. A great job. Yeah, look at the team there celebrating. They're all pretty happy with that, aren't they? And when you consider that yesterday the man who won the race was sitting in the pits watching because he crashed out, you've got to think that he's pretty happy. And you can see the Yamaha Majumoto Asia team as well, of course, celebrating in the background.
3 rostrum all belongs to the team.
Wow. Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
We almost saw that in one of the classes yesterday as well, didn't we? With I think it was the Astra Honda team there.
Yeah, Astra Honda.
But one of them crashed. But this will be a photo that the team owner will want to take with all of his riders up on the podium. What a great result for the team, of course, the Yamaha Majumoto Asia Racing Team. And there are your results, of course. Hazik wins with Kyle Paz in second, Akid Aziz in third position, and Sharil Amin takes fourth, Gupta in fifth, Effendi Rosalie in sixth position, Zat Zaidi, yesterday's winner, takes seventh, and Fakarushi Sekarin Rostam in eighth, Adib Rosalie ninth, and Travis Hall 10th from Australia. We didn't get to mention him too much. And of course, the rest of the field there is Amarul in 11th, Ayman Azman 12th, Wayu, who didn't finish, Helmi Azman, who didn't finish, Hakel, who came in as well, and that rounds out the field of competitors who have completed the first ever Underbone race here at the Bend circuit. So the first weekend, of course, because we had an Underbone race yesterday, but there they are. Listen to the screaming.
The Three Musketeers.
Now, did you just make that up, or that's what they call them?
No, I made that up.
Oh, it's good. I think we need to use that for the rest of the year. But beautifully prepared bikes. Can you recall the last time that they had 3 bikes on the podium like that?
No, I don't think so. I think
wow.
First time.
Well, I wonder maybe they'll be flying back.
The team manager Yong Yin Ho there, you know,
yeah. So it's we're getting word through that it's the first time ever that the one team has filled out all positions. So it's all pretty impressive stuff to see them all there. We can see Wei Ling down there as well. We'll be heading down to her in a minute. We'll get the reactions from the riders and hear what they've got to say. But talk about creating history. Absolutely talk about creating history. The Yamaha Maju Motor Asia Racing Team, first time at Tail and Bend, first time in Australia, and the first time ever in the Asia Road Racing history that they've taken out the whole podium.
Yeah, the whole podium, 1, 2 and 3.
Right, what we're going to do now is Wei Ling's with our winners. We're going to throw down to her and she's going to catch up with them.
Okay, congratulations picking up your very first podium in race 2. Share with us how challenging was it out there?
Okey, saya pertama sekali saya ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada keluarga saya yang support saya, lepas tu saya punya tim saya, rakan-rakan saya. Okey, perlombaan di race 2 ni lebih mencabar daripada race 1. Race 2 ni saya cuba untuk kekalkan dalam grup yang pertama tapi tak dapat. Saya ke belakang dan buat mistake. Perlombaan ni memang mencabar.
Okay, thank you so much, Aki. And coming in second place today, McKinley Carl Paz, the wildcard from Filipino. Carl, your first podium in the Asia Road Racing Championship. Share with us, how was the entire experience this weekend?
Unang-una po, nagpapasalamat po ako sa mga sumuporta sa akin dyan sa Pilipinas. Sa team ko po, sa UMA Racing, napaka worth it po lahat na pinaghirapan namin ngayong weekend. Kahit second lang po, masaya po. First time po sa ARRC.
Thank you so much, Carl. And today's race 2 winner, also from UMA Racing, Maju Motor ARRC. Hazik, a very emotional win for you. Share with us, how was it?
In the beginning, I thought it's a really hard race in race 2, but in lap by lap, I tried to push with the Helmi. And I think second of the last lap, my Helmi bikes was broke, and then I come to be the position 1, and then I consistent to the finishing line, and then alhamdulillah, this is rezeki daripada Allah.
Okay, thank you so much, Hazik. Guys, stay tuned for the podium ceremony.
Okay, that's thank you very much, Wei Ling. It's good to hear from the riders, and of course Hazik, you want to stay with us because later on in the show we're going to have a little bit of a story with the UMA Racing team. But for now, let's have a recap of that Underbone 150 race because it was a cracker, and it was Helmi Azman who got off to a great start and headed off down the straight. But the group of riders were right behind him there, all tucking in, using the long tail and bend front straight here to use that slipstreaming to great effect. And then Helmi Azman led all the way, but it was the number 26 of Hazik who snuck in there behind him, and of course 36, who is Effendi Rosalie, did a great job at sticking up in there as well. He did a really good job. Sharul was up there too, but it was the man that you wanted to keep an eye on, a kid Aziz. He worked his way from the back, didn't he?
Yeah, worked his way out from back of the grid. Even Fakrusi, you know, and both of them.
It's really amazing to me how these guys can manage to do that. But then the two guys out front, Helmi Azman, who was out of shape, and that number 26, of course, the Uma Racing rider of Hazik, got way out in front. But then the group with McKinley, Cole, Paz and another 11 riders were there. One of the riders had a big moment, and that put him out of the moment. There's Fakrusi there as he heads into, takes a nice little line as they head over the line. With 3 laps to go, this happened. YU went down, not what we expected.
Yeah, we don't expect that. You know, you can see how he crashed. I think he went in too deep.
Yeah, he carried too much corner speed in, and unfortunately, if there was no one in front of him, he would have been fine. But there was a bit of a traffic jam there, and unfortunately for him, it was a beat. And then this, what do you make of that?
Helmi Azman, what can you say about him?
Oh, it's just got to feel sorry for Helmi Azman. What could go right, but it wasn't meant to be. And then this young man, Hazik, went over the line for the last lap, and he had a 4 to 5 second lead at that point, something that we're not used to seeing. But at this point of the race, you've got to say second was wide open. They head through again and then up the hill on that final lap. Any one of 4 or 5 riders could have won, but it was the number 26 man, Mohammed Hazik, who got himself over the line, even had time to lift his visor up, and it was a 1, 2, 3 over the line for the Uma Racing team. So it was a fantastic result for the team. Look at that.
Yeah. There's Akid Aziz slipstreaming Gupita Krishna and Sharo Amin to get into 3rd place. Then you can see the team managers are so happy, and all the Yamaha engineer and all the crew there.
Yeah, that was absolutely incredible. I mean, what a race. It was... it certainly was. But, the Uma Racing team, they've been around. They give the young kids, obviously, that coming through lots of love and lots of support. And, obviously they've helped McKinley Cole Paz, the wild card this weekend as well. So really good to see that team and the amount of effort they put in. And look at all the Australian supporters for this Asian Road Racing Championship. Let's have a quick look at the points standings. It's Izzat Zaidi with 67 points in the championship lead. Now that's a pretty handy lead over Helmi Azman with 56 points, and then of course Effendi Rosley with 44. Kid Aziz 41 points, equal with Sharul Amin, and poor old Wayu in 6th position there, who could have had a handful of points and perhaps been somewhere near the front. Unfortunately for him, it wasn't meant to be. We head back down through in 11th position, Hazik. What a great result for him here today. He makes his way forward. And then it was Ayman Azman, of course, and Fakrusi, Adib Rosley, Gupta Kresna, good ride for him. Travis Hall puts himself 16th in the championship. Nguyen 17th, of course, and then the others rounded out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head down to Wing Lee and the podium.
This is the podium for the Underbone 150cc Race 2. Coming in 3rd place today from Uma Racing Yamaha Maju Asia team, Muhammad Akid Aziz. And in 2nd place today, also from Uma Racing Yamaha Maju Moto Asia team, McKinley Kalpas. And today's Underbone 150cc Race 2 winner, also from Uma Racing Yamaha Maju Moto Asia team, Muhammad Hazik Muhammad Fairuz. We also like to invite the team manager of Uma Racing Yamaha Maju Moto Asia team to join the riders on the podium. We will now stand for the national anthem of Malaysia.
Well, let's congratulate our 150 Underbone riders, the Uma Racing team. What a brilliant ride by all of those guys. Of course, Azik, the winner. Kyle Paz McKinley takes second position. Of course, Akid Aziz, what a great result for him as well, third position. And what a great ceremony they get there. Look at the helmets they get given as well.
Yeah, the KYT helmet will present to them, and with the silver color second, the gold color, and the bronze color.
Yeah, no, really good to see. And these guys have done a fabulous job standing on that podium there. There we go. Hazik in the middle there. He looks pretty happy, doesn't he?
Of course, he's gonna be happy. Uriram, I think he didn't get any points.
Yeah.
Yesterday he crashed out.
Well, yeah.
And today he win the race.
Well, you know what? I mean, for him, this is really the start of his season, isn't it? So, yep. Happy team manager.
The team manager there, Young Yin Ho, and he's really happy with the whole team, I think.
Yeah, and I've got a feeling, I mean, it's a really good day for the Uma Racing team. Well, that's the end of our Underbone 150s for this weekend. But stay away. Don't worry, because we will be back after this break with the Asia Production 250s. So, quick commercial break, and then we'll be back with you with a bigger selection of bikes with the AP 250s. Yep. Welcome back to round two of the Asia Road Racing Championships. We've just watched the completion of the Underbone 150s for the weekend, and very shortly we will be getting into the Asia Production 250 class, and that is going to be very, very exciting to see. But for the first time ever, we saw the Uma Racing team take 3 positions on the podium, and I don't think that's ever happened before in the Underbone class, so it's a first. But that's not all that the team does. They also like to bring the young guys through, and we were lucky to catch up with the team, and they are going to tell us how it's done.
Team Uma Racing Yamaha Maju Moto Asia team is contributing towards the ARRC's efforts to increase the diversity of the Asian paddock. The Underbone 150cc defending champion team has created a unique wildcard system this year that will see them bringing in more high potential riders from countries like Vietnam, Philippines, and Indonesia. To find out more about Uma Racing's wildcard program, we speak to team coordinator Alan Yong.
We wanted to start the full season for this year for another team called it Racing Asia team. But because of the time constraint, we don't have enough time for select riders. So we use back this team to select riders from different countries. Why these 3 Asian countries? Because it's a very big market. They have a lot of riders from there, potential riders are talking about. But because of lack of the people support, so we try to bring them to Asia to have a chance for them to race in Asia with different country riders together. Okay, for this round 2 at Australia, we are using rider from Philippines. This is my rider. His name is Carl. Quite young, about 17 is it? 16 years old, and he got raced in quite a lot of race like 300 scooter race, 150, 300cc. So he also quite famous in Philippines. Like the first round in Thailand, I have invited him to come to our pre-season test. It's just a short period. Also got about the news in Philippines, also quite effective. Regarding this, we are using these Philippine riders.
Well, the UMA racing team have had a fantastic weekend and a celebration there. Now we know a little bit more about them, but it's time to turn our attention, of course, to the Asia Production 250 bikes. But before we do that, we want to have a look at the recap from the race that we had yesterday, of course. That one, Residanica Arens won. It was a pretty impressive race to watch, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think Super Mario, there you can see.
So what did you think? Super Mario was looking good at the start. Actually, it looked like it was going to be an Astra Honda Racing 1, 2, 3 at the end. But before we got there, we had a lot of laps to get through. There was 9 laps in this one and a lot of action to see. The Astra Racing team got a perfect start as the 2 riders, Residanica Hearns and Mario Suriaji, headed into turn 1 in perfect order. Very good to see, and of course the number 16 machine of Super Mario led the way, and it looked like he was going to run away with it, but that's always the case in this 250 class. It wasn't long until his teammate caught up to him. Of course, Buklada was in there somewhere as well, but she had a problem in qualifying and was further down the pack. But she did work her way forward, and I know that she desperately wants to try and win a race here this weekend if she can, and she's going to have the option to do that in a little bit of time. But back out front, it was the number 16 machine of Mario Suryoadji who was just showing the others the way to go. But Danica Reza wasn't going to have anything of it, and then they were starting to feel each other out, finding out on the track. A bit of scraping going on there. The lean angles that they're afforded, it's pretty amazing. Slipstreaming going on. They were working together at this point, weren't they?
Yeah, they were working together, definitely. You can see so clear that Mario Aji have the edge because he's lighter than Arden Danica.
And of course the other teammate was having a bit of a battle there with the Kawasaki man, Mohammed Fadli, but I think there was Arwin Sanjaya who wanted to try and make it 3 Astra Honda Racing Team Hondas on the podium. Will it end out that way? Maybe not. Things never happen like that. But back at the front, it was the 2 team leaders in, and then this happened. They went round, and poor old Arwin Sanjaya fell off, which was for Fadli as they went over the line. Pretty good news, because it ended up that he ended up getting 3rd position on the Kawasaki, and there he is. But it was an Astra Honda 1-2 in the AP 250 race held here yesterday, and there were high fives all around. And Fadli, the Kawasaki man, also got a bit of a helping hand there by his team manager Fujiwara. So that was a pretty exciting race to watch yesterday, and really looking forward to this one here today when we get cracking with the AP 250s. You can see now they're just starting to head back out. There is Super Mario on his CBR Honda. What are the guys thinking? I mean, they've got, they're staying in Adelaide. It's over an hour away. Are they liking the drive? They've got to drive two and a half hours every day just to get to this circuit.
I stayed in Adelaide.
Yeah.
I got to drive every day here. So it takes us 1.5 hours all the way from Adelaide to come to this track.
Yeah, I mean it's probably quite a long way.
Yeah, a long way. So I think all of them will sleep in the cars.
Yeah, well, I know one thing is that we do have a lot of speed limits here and speed cameras. So I was speaking to one of the guys from the organisation, and they said yes, we're bringing a lot of money to put into the back into the government here from speeding fines. So I'm sure that the South Australian government will be very happy that you guys.
Sure, they're going to be happy.
Yeah, have been here. So interesting to see. But as you can see, everybody's heading out onto the pit now, getting ready for the start of this race. 9 laps around here. It's quite a long way. So quite a long way. Big crowd here to watch, of course. And of course the Australian Superbike Championship Series wound up just at about lunchtime, and the crowd getting double the fun this weekend with the Asian Road Racing Championship. We mentioned it yesterday, but both teams joining up. We just saw a glimpse of Fadley, of course, and also Unapab Samoon making his way round.
Unapab Samoon is the rider to watch out for race 2 again.
Yeah, things didn't end up going his way yesterday. He ended up in 4th position, just really 8 seconds off the pace. So what sort of things do you think that they might have changed last night?
They definitely gotta do some setting on the bikes, maybe see what sort of a gearbox or
Yeah.
But I mean,
do they have the capability on these little 250s to change the internal gear ratios, or is it just the external gearing that they can change?
The external one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So gotta see. I mean, of course, all of them are using Dunlop, the Alpha 13 SP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it gotta be everybody using the same tires.
Yeah.
So for sure, they don't have any problem with this the weather here compared with the 600 that we have.
Yeah.
The problem they're facing.
Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I think because the tires that all of them use, they don't. I asked all the team, and most of the team says they have no problem with the track and the weather and all this. So I think it worked out for everybody.
There's Unapab Samoon on his Yamaha. Beautiful looking bike, that, isn't it? I really love the style of it. It almost looks like a GP machine.
A GP machine, like the Valentino Rossi's and Vinales engine, the design.
Yeah, it really does. Massive field here, and it's a high quality field too. There's a bit of an overlay of the circuit, of course. 4.95 kilometres long, 18 corners here, and it's got the longest straight. It's a very long straight, 1 kilometre long here at the bend, and it's also very wide, probably similar to Buriram. Buriram's ride too. A little bit of adjustment there going on at the last minute, of course. That's Muklada just adjusting the preload quite last minute there, isn't it? And also a click of compression or rebound as well. Would you be...
Looks like compression, I think.
Yes. Would you be doing that after the warm-up?
No, I don't think so. I wouldn't touch anything after the warm-up and practice.
Yeah, I mean, she came through the pack pretty good yesterday, so pretty good to see. There is one of the Astra Honda riders. And you can see them on the front row there with their flags. It's good to see. They almost got a perfect 1, 2, 3 podium.
3, yeah, start position 1, 2 and 3.
Right, we're ready on the grid now, and we're going to head down to Willing.
Okay, I'm down here on the grid with Anish. Anish, of course, this is all the riders' first time competing here this weekend. Today is your second race. How are you looking forward to it?
I'm pretty much confident for the race to catch up with the top bunch. I'm well prepared, motivated and confident. I'll give my best. Let's see.
right, thank you so much, Anish. Good luck for race 2. And next to Anish on the grid from Chinese Taipei is Chiu Xiaolong. So this is your second race this weekend. How are you looking forward to it?
我昨天非常享受在这个赛车场的比赛，因为这个赛道在台湾是没有像这么大型的赛道，然后尤其是跟一些东南亚国家的选手一起跑，可以学习到很多东西。谢谢。
Okay, thank you so much, Xiaolong, and all the best for race 2. So, of course, he mentioned that he's enjoying his race weekend so far. They don't have such large circuits in Chinese Taipei, and he really enjoyed learning from the rest of the riders on the grid. And here we also have another rider from a smaller country in Southeast Asia. So, Nam, this is, of course, your second round racing in the 250cc class. Last year you were in the Underbone class. So how are you adjusting to the 250cc class?
Đây là vòng 2 nên tôi từ Underbone lên nên phải thay đổi về thể lực cũng như phong cách lái rất khác so với Underbone.
To the new class 250, I try my best to train and practice for more fitness to adapt with this new big bike.
All right, thank you so much, Nam, and good luck for race 2.
Yes, and there we go. We've just had a bit of a chat down on the grid with the guys before the start of the race there. And I've got to say to you, who are you thinking? Who's your money on this time round?
This time, I think going to be the Astra Honda again.
The Astra Honda? Yeah, I mean, they were pretty dominant, weren't they? They were pretty dominant. It was almost a 1-2-3 yesterday, so it would be good to see. And I mean,
yeah, but don't forget about this Fadli on the Kawasaki.
Yeah, well, Fadli.
Fadli, and of course this Anupat on the Yamaha.
Yeah, well, I guess Fadli on the Kawasaki, I look at the people he's got behind him with Fujiwara there in the team. And for sure, when Fujiwara's around, there's a lot of factory technicians as well. And that means, Kawasaki, when they get into racing, they decide they want to win. But there's Rezidanica Harens, of course, yesterday's winner. A great result for him, 48 points in the championship at the moment. Of course, looking all serious as the crowd watch on, getting ready for these guys to start the second race of this Asia 250 Production Championship, the second ever in Australia. Super Mario, he probably wants to beat his teammate this time round. Do you think he can do it?
Yeah, I think if if he's there to do it, but like I say, this one Riza Dadika is more experienced than Super Mario. You can see he's still a small boy.
He is, isn't he? He's yeah. I mean, what he needs to do is he just needs to sit back and learn. And even at that age, with the super tag Super Mario, he's he's doing an incredible job, isn't he, to be up there where he needs to be. But Awin Sanjaya, of course, didn't work out for him yesterday. Only 20 years of age, another Astra Honda rider, and I'm sure that he wants to put it right and complete another 100 metres of the racetrack today that he didn't complete yesterday and make it an Astra 1, 2, 3. I mean, we've just seen in the Underbone 150 class the Uma Racing team complete the whole...
Yeah, the 1, 2, 3.
Which is the first.
Yes. So
what about in this class?
I think definitely they will try to get a target for this race.
Yeah. Do you think that it's a possibility? I mean,
I think it's possible for the team to do it.
Wow. Has it ever happened in the AP 250 class?
No.
No. So it seems that Australia is a place for a lot of firsts, isn't it?
Yes. You can see Rafiq Topan there, Suchipto, one of the riders that we got to watch out to.
Yeah, he looks very fast, and he looks very keen to get going.
Yeah.
As you can see now, all the tyre warmers coming off the machines. Of course, the tyre warmers are on. These racing slicks need to be up to heat. Anapup Samoon, of course, he's one of the elder statesmen, 25 years old, but he's very, very fast. And he was the pole man in Thailand, qualified 5th here and 4th in the first race. But he's already won a race this year, and I'm sure he wants to try and win two to help him out in that championship. I love the look of these Yamahas. They really are a beautiful looking machine. But Ferozi, of course, on the 901 machine from the Yamaha Thailand Racing. You can just look at that toolbox there. You can see how professional.
They have handlebars there, see?
It's incredible, isn't it? How professional they take it to. But here's the Kawasaki man. His bike's not blue, it's not red, it's green. Kawasaki green, and it's very fast. Andy Mohammed Fadli, of course. He's not up there in the championship with only 31 points at the moment, but the one thing we can say about him is that he's definitely a contender here this weekend. Angie Setawan on the Yamaha Yamalube KYT TJM WIR racing machine. Just doing his helmet up, getting his gloves on, as there's only a couple of minutes to go. And of course, Muklada. She's sitting there, little wave. She's pretty serious, and when she gives you the fist like that, it means that she's out.
Yeah, she is serious.
Yeah.
So watch out, boys.
Absolutely, and she is definitely not in this field just to make up the numbers. She is
capable of winning.
Well,
yes.
She's proven that she's a winner. She won in Buriram, didn't she? So unfortunately for her in qualifying, she had an issue. If you remember, a couple of days ago now, she came around the final corner to start qualifying, and her chain came off.
Yeah.
So she starts back down the pack a little bit, but that didn't seem to slow her down yesterday. The grid just clearing now. Of course, everybody will be heading out on a warm-up lap. We've already had our sighting lap, and it's a good time just to get those last thoughts out of your head. Of course, these riders have a lot on their mind, don't they, when they've got everyone around them. Everyone's always asking them questions.
So normally, all of them should definitely want the riders to win for the team. So definitely there will be a lot of pressure on the riders. See, even teammates.
How much
try to win.
How much pressure do the team managers put on the riders, or how do they approach it? You're an ex-team manager, so you tell me.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the grid. Like if let's say they have a smaller grid, but this type of grid definitely, I would want my rider to win for the championship.
Yeah.
So, but of course there will be another thing. Tell them, make sure that you bring the bike home, take the checker flag.
So
the most important thing.
The double-edged sword. You have to win, but you have to finish.
Yes.
Doesn't always work out that way, unfortunately. As we saw yesterday, we had a few fallers. In fact, there was only one non-finisher in yesterday's race, which is
I think Ashwin, I think.
Yeah, that's correct. So that was pretty unfortunate for him, because he was on for a podium at that point in time as well, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be. But there is your grid with Rizza Danica Renz in first position, Super Mario second, Awin Sanjaya in third, Rafat Topin starts row two with Anupap Samoon in fifth position, Ferozi in sixth, and then we head down to the Kawasaki man in seventh, Andy Mohammed Fadli, Angie Setawan and Muklada on her Honda as well, so a great result for her. Kritiporn starts the fourth row, Pirapong Bunalet, Datat Jaiman as well, and Richard Taraya starts row five. Hafiz is there in 14th position, and Ahmed Afif Aman in 15th. 16th, of course, is Hafiza Rofa at Suzuki. Takashi starts from 17th, and Kairul in 18th position. It's very impressive, but it goes on. There's still a lot here, isn't there? Anish Damora Shetty in 7th, and Chowki Long on the 888 machine. Danielle on number 66 and 21st, Cal Vietnam, and of course Hil Fitri Mahadi and Zach Levy rounds out the back of the field. So it's a massive field of 250s here.
I think they have 25 started for this.
Yeah. What do you think? Would you like to be out there still?
Sit down here in the commentating room.
It's just as exciting here, isn't it?
Yeah.
it seems to be the Yamaha and the Honda are the preferred bikes. There's a couple of Kawasaki's out there. Of course, a brand new Kawasaki joined the fray this year, and Fadley's doing a fantastic job on that machine, pushing it up to the front. Kawasaki have a real presence this year in this championship.
Yeah, when it came out from Buriram, it came out brand new out from the box, and they just do the bike there and race.
Yeah,
did the second race for them.
Wow, so they would have obviously made quite a few changes from then to now to get it more race ready.
It looks like it is working for the team now at the moment.
Yeah, it certainly is. Well, it's a new day, a bit of camaraderie there as the guys head up to take their grid positions. Of course, it's the winner from yesterday.
Any pick from you, Steve?
Me? You know what? It's a difficult one, but I think I'm going to go with Renz. I'm going to go with I'm going to go with Super Mario. I think Super Mario is going to do it this time. What about you, quickly?
I think I'll take Underbone Samun, the time.
Yeah, he's definitely. He was going to be my first choice, but I decided that either that or Fadley. Am I allowed to change to the Kawasaki
Three of them
man?
capable, yeah.
All right.
We'll see how.
Getting ready for a start. Everyone's on the grid. Anupap Samun just waiting for him to take his position. He's taken his position now. The red flag is leaving the grid. Getting ready for a start. We're in the starter's hands. Oh, they held him for a long time, but they're away. What a clean start so far. There's Fadley making his way through to the outside of the grid as well. You can see that slipstreaming effect already taking place, but not sure who it is out front. It looks like it's Super Mario. Muklada's there as well on the outside. Good start by her. Oh, and there's a couple of guys that have been pushed wide. I think there are a couple of Astra Honda riders.
Ooh, Astra Honda.
Oh, that is not what they needed. It's going to be a difficult race from there.
I think we're going to have a good one, because I think definitely the Honda Astra bike will definitely come up to chase the leader again.
What, do you think that they can get through 25 bikes? Fadley's in third position, but when we do have a replay of that start, and I'm sure we will, I want you to talk me through what happened there, because there was too much going on.
Riza Danica is in the lead.
Yeah, that's
I think it's Riza, yeah.
Good to see for Riza Danica. Arenz, of course, he was the
replay there. Oh, okay. Oh, I think Rafiq Topan was there. He was hit by Rafiq.
Yeah.
Pulled the bike up, and he hit Azwin.
Oh, well, that it didn't work
Mario
out.
Aji and Azwin.
Well, there goes my choice straight away.
But your choice is Super Mario.
Actually, I picked 3 or 4 people because I'm not silly. I know that anybody can win this, and that is the name of the game. But Rafiq Topan is in second position at the moment. Andy Mohamed Fadley was one of my choices in third, so I might just stick with him at the moment. And of course, Ferozi has just moved down and been overtaken by Afif, who's up into fourth position on his Yamaha. And as they head around on the first lap, do they need to be careful on this first lap? Do they need to let the tyres bed in, warm up, or are they ready to go?
I think definitely at least one lap, I think.
Yeah, of course. Just to make sure.
Make sure everything there. Okay, the grip is there.
The confidence that Reza Danica Arenz has got is amazing, because the gap is already out now to nearly a second on that first lap. Of course, it is a 9-lap race around this 4.95 kilometre circuit, and it's hot out there. It's 30.5 degrees, so there's hot weather and hot action on track.
Yeah, and the track temperature is 38.5.
Yeah, that's what do you think? Is that sort of the temperatures that these tyres are normally?
Yeah, this tyre will work better in this type of.
Look at Fadley. Fadley is really on a charge at the moment, and we've got Afif in second. So that was a really good move by Afif as well. I didn't see that coming in. I know that Afif wasn't one of your choices.
Yeah, Afif Amran is a Malaysian rider too, as CKJ team.
Yeah, good to see. And look at them as they head into the turn 6 here. This has proven to be all weekend a massive overtaken corner. And but what these guys need to do is they need to stop fighting among themselves and try and catch up to the man out the front.
To catch the Reza Danica in front.
Yeah, of course. Pierpont Boon Alert in third. and it's good to see the Malaysians finally starting to come good in this group. They haven't really had anybody that has been strong in this class.
Yeah,
but,
especially the 250, we don't have a Malaysian rider in the top 5 at the moment.
Well, you have at the moment, so it's good to see that things are starting to turn around. There are those the Hondas as well making their way back through the pack. McLaren's there as well. Here's a replay of the start. It was a pretty clean start as Fadley moved his way over. Number 1, 2, 3, of course, Reza Danica got a great start there and led from the start. And Fadley went all the way across the track. And perhaps Samu got a good start as well. And he's just moved his Yamaha up into 3rd position, and that was your choice as well. You just see him back there. Of course, Fadley on the Kawasaki.
And the lead is getting bigger, I think.
Yes, miles up the road.
I think he's having a 3.5 second.
That is incredible. He's 2 seconds. Our leader, Reza Danica Arens, is 2 seconds quicker than everybody else. That's an incredible amount. But as we head into turn 1, is this the last lap? No, it's not. But Andy Mohammed Fadley has got a little bit of a gap there now as he works his way through, and we can see the Astra Honda riders in that pack now. They both got knocked off. Well, 2 of the riders out of the 3 got knocked off. The other one's leading the race, but Super Mario working his way through the pack now. But that gap is incredible. Good work there by Reza Danica Renz, of course.
I think because of this group been fighting each other out, and that's why they can't do the time that Reza is doing.
What do you think Reza's plan will be now? I mean,
I think he just have to do a consistent time, 209 or 210 the time.
Andy Mohammed Fadley did a 211.4, and he did 208.2 last time round, which I'm pretty sure is going to be a new lap record. No, it's not. Everybody else is going slow because Super Mario set the lap record in race 1 at 207.7, so everybody else is holding themselves up, and perhaps Moon makes a lunge for the front and gets past Fadley. Good move by him. And Rafid is there as well, making his way past. It's a nice big group there, but they really do need to pick up those lap times if they want to catch up to Reza Danica Arens in front.
It looks like the gap is getting bigger and bigger, Steve.
Yeah, he really is starting to pull away, isn't he?
Yeah.
But and perhaps Moon there, just once again, Rafid is making his way through Fadley.
Yeah, outbreak each other, that's why the time they can't really do the fast time.
Yeah, because they're just like every corner, it's like the last lap, isn't it, at the moment? They can't break free, they can't stretch that group out. Timing-wise, they're all very similar, aren't they? Although there's a bit of a gap there now. 6.2 seconds the lead for Reza. That's a pretty impressive first couple of laps. 6 laps to go as they head into turn 1. Hello. Is that Super Mario?
Yeah, I think Super Mario is there.
He was 25th a minute ago, and now he's just worked his way through the pack. I'm going to have a look and try and see what sort of lap time he did, though. 208.7. He was the only other man in the 208s that time round. So the young man they call Super Mario is on a bit of a mission to try and catch up to his teammate.
Yeah, we need to get where's I think he's 9 at the moment. 8. Arvind Sanjaya.
Yeah, I mean, poor old Arvind Sanjaya, he didn't have a very good day yesterday, almost got on the podium, but a couple of corners before the end, it wasn't to be. He crashed in turn 17. But
you can see Rafiq Tupan is riding his wheel off that bike, you can see.
Oh no, Fadley!
Oh, lucky, he bring it back.
Yeah, he brought it back all right, but only just. He didn't even lose any time there.
That means that the tyre is working really good.
Absolutely. He didn't even want to clear the dirt off the tyre when he came back onto the bitumen. He just thought, you know what, I'm just going to keep going. But a bit of a rear slide there. Was that Unapab Cement? Let's have another look at that. Fadley just misjudges the track, runs off, keeps the angle on too. Nice move, and manages to flip it back on. That was a great move by Fadley. Is that the sort of action that, that was a pretty amazing move by him to get away with that.
Yeah, the whole wheel was on the grass there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But doesn't seem to bother him. Another rider's just slipped through there further down in the pack. Was that Angie?
I think that is Afif Amran, the Malaysian rider.
Okay, yeah, he's Afif Amran is doing a really good job, as we mentioned before. The Malaysians in this class have struggled a little bit. There's the Astra Honda team, giving the hurry up to Super Mario.
Yeah, you can see Ashwin there is right behind Rafiq Topan and Fadli.
Yeah, that's right, and of course. Rafid is... Oh! Did you see that? What a save! That...
looked like another Marcus.
Oh, my goodness. My goodness. That's... he's had quite a few warnings, as Fadli, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think he still can manage to bring the bike up.
Yeah, Fujiwara will be pulling his hair out in the pit box at the moment. But meanwhile, back out front... I thought I saw coming up through the pack as well.
Yeah, you can see the replay.
Sanjay, okay, he's tipping into the corner. Bit of rear chatter.
Oh! Wow.
Did you see that? He actually had a little bit of rear chatter, which made the front fold. And, he was probably having the same reaction that we were having at that point because he was just the passenger, but he made his way through. So, good result for him. But he does need to regroup if he's going to have a chance of catching up. At the front of that group, Super Mario, of course, is just starting to pull away a little bit. Muklada's there in the background as well. And Krichiporn's doing a good job too. He's in the back of this pack as well. Anupap Samoon is down in 8th position at the moment. Afif is in 7th. And Fadli, after the couple of mistakes that he's made, he was in 3rd, but back down in 6th at the moment. What about this rider out in front, though?
Yeah, I think looking at his time, he's doing. I think looks like Super Mario is catching up a little bit. Super Mario did a fastest lap now at the moment. 7.5.
That's an incredible lap time. That's a new lap record.
New lap record.
It is,
right?
yeah. 2/10 quicker than what they set yesterday in yesterday's race. So a brand new lap record for the man in 2nd position. He finished 2nd yesterday in the race as well, so I'm sure he won't want to do that.
And he did another fastest lap again, 2:07.3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's taking 1 second off, I think nearly a second off Nico Aarons.
That's incredible. Super Mario to be able to do that. I wonder if he can do that for the next 4 laps.
And Steve Fadli, I think, is
a little bit
caution there in the first turn there.
Oh, big moment there for Rafford as well. Bit of moving around from his machine. Difficult to see. Ferozzi's out of this one as well. Just moved down a little bit. Muklada is still in 9th position. Krichaport in 10th at the moment as they head into that turn 6, the overtaking, and Fadli's woken up again and starting to work his way back through the field.
It looks like we have 1, 2, 3, all the Astra Honda again.
Again?
Yes.
Okay, they seem to be fairly strong at this circuit, don't they? Awin Sanjaya, I think Sanjaya will be happy with 3rd position this time out, I think.
He will be happy, for the team again.
So I've got to ask you again, have you ever seen the 3 teammates? We just saw it on the Underbone 150s with the Uma Racing team. Are we going to see it happen again here now?
It maybe, I'm not sure. Because wheels are round, you see.
Yeah.
Anything can happen before the checker flag.
That is absolutely true, especially when you've got guys like Fadli, Andy Mohammed Fadli out there on track on his Kawasaki because he wants to put that bike wherever he can. But Arwin Sanjaya is just opened up that gap a little bit on the group. So there's 3 distinct groups at the moment, but let's have a look when the guys go over the line in a minute and try and figure out what the gap is between 1, 2, 3 Residanigo Renz and Mario Suryo Aji. Oh, a little bit aggressive there from the Kawasaki man. Pulls it off.
Angus Setiawan behind. There's Anupat Samun, bike number 500.
Oh, we've got a faller as well. It looks like Ferozzi's gone down. So unfortunately, Ferozzi's fallen off or run off the track at some point. turn 18 on the final corner, actually. So unfortunately for Rose, he's out of this one. But that man there doing a good job, of course, in second. Sorry, that's fourth position, I think. Just behind Owen Sanjaya, Angie Setiwan. Really get to talk about him too much yesterday, but he's doing a good job today. He's Setiwan.
Looks like Azlan can't get a gap from this group.
Yeah,
it's like they're catching up.
Yeah, I know. He did pull away a little bit, but
now they're catching up again.
I know. I guess. I mean, we've got 3 laps to go, heading into 2 laps to go now, and he really is starting to struggle a little bit. But Angie Setiwan is doing a good job catching up to pulling the others towards Sanjaya.
I think that's for Rose, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see the final turn. I think he fell off turn 18, so just working his way forward with that one on the way up there. And heading up the hill with 3 laps to go. Looks like everybody's just in settling, but up the inside.
That is Angie Fadli.
Wow, Fadli's set that up, and look at that, he managed to pull out a bike length, but he's wide, which means that Setiwan's going to be able to head down the outside. Everybody's heading down the outside now. It's a 4-way battle into turn 17 here, and they all get through. But of course, Owen Sanjaya needs to be careful, because that's where he fell off yesterday.
Yes, it's going to be a same maneuver again from yesterday.
Yeah, well, he doesn't want to do that. He wants to take it just a little bit easier there. Does anybody have a top speed advantage here without the slipstream effect?
I think the Hondas, you can see Ricardo Dariza have a good top speed.
Oh, McLaren!
Oh, where she come from?
That's a big one.
I think that is
That's a big crash with a couple of laps to go.
Yes, Angie Setiwan?
Yeah, it could have been. Yes, Angie Setiwan's just gone down, so hopefully they can clean that machine up. He's up and okay. That was definitely an ugly crash. But where did McLaren come from? We were talking about her being in ninth position a minute ago, and now she's decided that with a couple of laps to go, she doesn't want to hang out there anymore. She wants to make her way forward and get on the podium. Let's have another look at this crash. Just clips the back wheel there, the front tyre grips, everybody does a great job missing him, and boy was he lucky to get away with that one. But that bike has taken a big beating, so the rider's okay and the bike's okay, but Raffin Topan is lucky to get away with that one. As they head down again, McLaren with some good company there. She's done a good job. Super Mario, of course, in second position. Andy Mohammed Fadli on that Kawasaki. He's been pretty entertaining this time out, hasn't he? Anupab Samoon is in that group as well. And, of course, the number 50, Afif, sits behind there too. Anything's possible in this last lap, isn't it?
Yeah, another lap to go after this.
Yeah, as we head into the last lap, anything can happen. Although McLeod's pulled out a little bit of space there. Behind her, of course, Owen Sanjaya, who's she is really pushing, having a bit of a look over at the pit boxes as she goes through too, but good mid-corner speed for her, good couple of bike lengths there. We've got a red flag situation on the last lap, so that will mean that the race will be declared for sure with only 1 lap to go, and the question will be who got third position.
Yeah.
We know first and second because they were well over. The results will probably go back to the lap before.
One lap before.
Yeah, so explain what will happen in a situation like this.
So I think cross car just came up with that.
Well, the Astra Honda team are happy again, aren't they? Of course. Because they're going to have another 2 guys on the podium.
We haven't got anything from the race direction whether who's going to be third.
That is the big question.
Yeah.
The Astra Honda guys know they've got 1-2, but I know that we saw Muklada in third at the start of that lap. But who was over? The race, of course, at this stage it hasn't been confirmed, but Reza Danica Renz, who's on our screen there, is probably going to be our winner no matter what happens, because he was so far up the road.
And even Super Mario, he will definitely be second.
Absolutely. But the question is, what will happen next? At the moment, our screens are showing that Muklada's in third, so it could be her.
Yeah, if you count back one lap,
Yep.
don't know where.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. We need to wait and see what the story will be there.
Like I think that is. I think it's Anggi Setiawan. Anggi, yeah, it's
Anggi Setiawan.
Yep. Bike number 26.
Yeah. Okay. We've got to hope
96.
that.
Sorry.
I hope that he's okay. The medical staff are there. That's one thing that the Australians do pride themselves on.
He's still attending to him.
Yeah. That was that ugly crash. He's moved his way over to the side.
Yeah, I think the crash caused the crash because somebody went up on his front wheel there.
Okay, so we have it. The race has been declared now, and the results are as of the lap ending lap 7.
That means Muklada will be.
Well, if this is the screen that we're looking at that is of lap 7, it means that Muklada will be on the podium, but we'll just wait a second. Let's have a bit of a look at the highlights, though, before we head down to the podium. And because that was an awesome race of the AP 250s. Massive crowd. That was an exciting race, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, except for Reza Danica, who ran away on
yeah. Yeah, I think everybody needs to do what they need to do. It has been confirmed that Muklada will take up that third position, so she did cross the line in front of everybody else on the 7th lap in third position. So it was a great result for Muklada there to basically come from what was going to be a difficult weekend for her and put it on the podium. But Reza Danica Renz, what a weekend he's had, a double win.
Double win.
And of course the youngster, Super Mario, he's definitely going to be one to
but
to
the
be
one I'm surprised is that Muklada, we didn't even mention about her.
No.
Then suddenly she just came out from nowhere.
Yeah, she's a really classy rider, isn't she? I'm so surprised at at the way that she's approaching this AP 250 championship. Yeah, so anyway, we'll need to wait and see. There's still some sort of discussion as to the final results. So we'll have to wait until we see them spraying, holding up their trophies. We won't know what to do. So, but what we have got now is the results from.
Definitely 1 and 2 is confirmed.
Yeah, definitely.
But the third one we still not sure which one.
No, so be interesting to see when that comes out. But we can hear all the teams screaming down in the pit lane. Everyone's happy. But here are your official results. Reza Danica Renz wins this one. Mario Suryoachi takes second place. So Win Sanjaya, good result for him, making it an Astra 1-2-3. Anup Samoon, Andy Mohammed Fadley in 5th, Angie Setiawan, Muklada Surapech in 7th. Unfortunate for her, one more lap and she would have been on the podium. Hamid Afif in 8th, Rafit Topan, of course, in 9th, Pirapong Binulet in 10th position. So a great result for those riders. But it's an Astra Honda 1-2-3. We've had double 1-2-3s this time out.
Yeah.
With the UMA Racing and now Astra Honda. It's incredible. Krichaporn in 11th position, Hafiz in 12th, Richard Taraya in 13th position, Kanatat Jaiman in 14th, and Anish Damadora Shetty in 15th, and Danielle takes 16th, Suzuki Takashi 17th, just out of the points, Kilung in 18th position, Carl Vietnam in 19th, and Mohammed Idul Fitri Mahadi in 20th position. So 42 seconds off the pace there. Ferozi didn't finish, of course, and Hafiza Rofa and Kairul didn't get to the end of the race. So unfortunately for those guys, they didn't finish off the way that they wanted to. But look at them coming in now. Unfortunately for Mikado, she didn't make it. But Arvind Sanjaya gets his first podium ever in the AP 250 Challenge, and what a perfect weekend for the Astra Honda Racing team.
He nearly got a podium yesterday.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. And look how happy these guys are. You know what? I think I might get in the car with these guys back to the airport, because it's going to be a good trip.
Big celebration.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely a big trip, big day, and they can also celebrate the fact that all three bikes today came back in one piece, and of course they can prepare themselves for the next round, which
so now we have 150, 3 podium, the 250, 3 podiums. What about 600?
Yeah, well,
you reckon?
Well, you tell me. Right, what we're going to do now, though, it's time to throw down to our podium with Wei Ling. She's got the winners.
Arvind, first of all, very big congratulations to you. Your first podium in the 250cc class, along with both of your teammates. Share with us, how was the race?
Ya, saya sangat senang bisa podium di race 2 ini. Saya sangat berterima kasih kepada Astra Honda Racing Team telah bekerja keras menyiapkan semuanya buat saya, dan terima kasih buat warga Indonesia telah mendoakan saya dan mendukung saya, terutama keluarga saya di kampung. Alhamdulillah, terima kasih. Ya Allah.
Thank you so much. Arvind coming in second place today. Mario Shuya Aji, also from Astra Honda Racing Team. Mario, another very consistent podium finish for you. Share with us, how was the race?
First, I want to say thank you for my family and my team, Astra Honda Racing Team. And to Allah, Alhamdulillah, I can get podium 2 again, like yesterday. In turn 1, I already in back of Reza, but Topan hit me. So, I'm going back again. And when I want to catch Reza, in my heart feel enjoy, so I can finish in second. Thank you.
Congratulations on your comeback, Mario, and picking up his very first double win of his career, Reza Danica Arens. Congratulations.
First, I say thanks God, thanks to Astra Honda Racing Team and all sponsor, also my family and all Indonesian people already support me. For today, beginning of the race, I try to maximum my skill, my everything. I just focus of my lifetime, every lap, every corner. I try to consistent. On the last lap, I can have a big gap from behind rider, but after that, race will be red flag, and then race declared to finish. Alhamdulillah for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Reza, and we'll stay tuned for the podium ceremony.
Well, what an incredible podium that was, the Astra Honda team. A lot of firsts there. The first double win ever for Reza Danica Arens. A bunch of podiums from Mario Siraji and Arvind Sanjaya as well up there. It was an absolute pleasure for the Astra Racing team, and a really good thing. Let's have a look at the recap, though, of that race, because it was an absolute cracker. Reza got out in front from the start. You can see him there on the number 123 machine. A perfect start from him, and the Astra Hondas were there from the start. It looked good, but Fadley made his way across and did his best to get towards the front as well, though everybody in the slipstreaming mode tucked in down heading into turn 1, and then it looked like Super Mario was there too, but there was this touch which knocked 2 of the Astra Honda riders towards the back of the pack, and we thought that that was going to be the end of them. We didn't think we'd see them anymore. Reza Danica Arens got a decent start there as well, and really worked his way towards the front. Look at Fadley though. Fadley on that new Kawasaki is doing such a fantastic job, and we thought that he was going to make his way toward the front.
Yeah, I think the safe, I think don't know whether they're going to show us not the safe that Fadley had the first turn there.
And the Pub Samoon was there as well, and doing his best job, and Rafa Topin was there, and there is that save, the first moment that Fadley
the first one.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to say he was really pushing on the moment. Perhaps we should give him a trophy, the trophy of dirt, because he spent the most time on it today. As we head down the straight, the teams were telling the riders to get a move on, but it was all in this final turn in. That is a photo to take to the bank, because that was an incredible save by that man. But then up the inside, once again, Fadley takes two, putting the battle for third, and that was only with 3 laps to go, so it was time to get serious in this race. It was a group of 7 or 8 riders battling it out for the podium at this stage. We already had Reza Danica Renz up the road, but Mario Suriaji was way back in the pack. And then this happened, a big touch, and bang, a massive crash. Talk us through that.
Yeah, I think the back wheel, he touches the back wheel of Afif, I think. Then that's why it causes the crash.
Yeah, Rafa Tapan going down there, and of course we still had a couple of laps to go. At this point, Muklada thought, I'm on for a podium, I'm not hanging around with these guys, they are too rough out on track, and she got herself a clear bit of run there as they went over and started the last lap. But unfortunately for Muklada, there was a red flag, and that meant the results went back a lap.
Yeah, go back 1 lap before.
Yeah, so unfortunately for Muklada, she was 1 lap too late, and it meant that Reza Danica Arenz ended up getting his first ever double podium. Mario Suryo Aji was second, and Awin Sanjaya was third. So a fantastic result for them. Let's head down to Weiling at the podium.
We'll begin the podium ceremony for the Asia Production 250cc Race 2. Coming in third place today from Astra Honda Racing Team, Awin Sanjaya. In second place today, also representing Astra Honda Racing Team, Mario Suryaji. And our winner from the Asia Production 250cc Race 2, picking up his first double win, Reza Danica Arens from Astra Honda Racing Team. We also like to invite a representative for Team Astra Honda Racing Team to join the riders on the podium. We will now stand for the national anthem of Indonesia.
What a great result that was for the Astra Honda Racing team. 2 times now that we've seen
The Yamaha get the
Yeah.
150, now the Honda on the 250.
Yeah.
3 rostrum each.
I know, but the word coming through is that if you're watching at home and you don't want to see a triple team podium for the 600 race coming up later today, there is no.
It won't happen.
It won't happen because there are no riders as the riders get their trophies, well deserved as well. And boy, there's some talent standing on this podium here today. Reza Danica Aren's first ever double win. Definitely going to go home with a smile and a few more helmets as well. KYT, of course, presenting the golden helmets here this weekend, and to all of the helmets to our winners.
All the winners, they have the gold one for the winner, the silver for the second, and the bronze for the third.
Yeah, it's definitely a great idea. Always good to stand up at the end of the day and get your...
holding up the trophy.
Yeah, especially with the big one in the middle.
Yes.
We're just going to take a quick look at the points after the hard day's work here. Danica Aren's, what a perfect weekend. 73 points, leads the championship now from Mario Suyaji. 66 points. Anupab Samoom did a good job, 62 points. Muklada, 51 points. Rafatapan Supito from Indonesia, 46 points. Andy Mohammed Fadli as well on 42 points. Pirapon Bunalert, we didn't get to talk about him much, but 34 points there. Owen Sanjaya made a good leap forward with 31 points in that one. Kanatat Jaiman, of course, in 9th position now with 29 points, equal with Krichiporn as well on the same amount of points. Anji Setuan, 24 points. Didn't work out for him. Richard Tarayo there in 12th position. Ahmed Afif in 13th, and Ferozi 14th. Hafiz in 15th. Hafiz Arofa, of course, in 16th position. And that about rounds up the group and the points. A good score there. So what we're going to do now, guys, is I want you to hang around, have a look at the commercial that's about to be coming up. But don't go too far, because coming back the big boys are going to be hitting the track here at Tail and Bend, and if it's anything like it was yesterday, it's going to be very, very exciting. So go get yourself a drink, and we will see you on the other side of the break. Hello and welcome back to Australia for round 2, day 2 of the Asia SuperSports 600 Championships, which is going to be very, very exciting. Yesterday's races, were amazing, but I've got to say that unfortunately the 600 race yesterday, it was cut short, wasn't it? It was cut so short. We had 2 red flags.
2 red flags after 3 laps.
Yeah. So it was, a really difficult time for the riders out there, and the race was in the end abandoned. There was a couple of guys that were injured. Do you have a report?
I think Deja crashed at one of them from Thailand.
Yep.
And of course, Brock Pearson.
Yep.
From Australia.
Yep.
So, I think Deja, the hand, I think when it crashed, I think the practice last race.
Yeah.
So he's still haunting him. So
okay.
he won't be able to use the hand. But like I say, Brock Pearson also cracked his backbone, I think.
Yeah.
He doesn't look good, but we managed to tell him not to race, so we better take a rest.
Okay. Yeah. Probably a good idea to do that. It's going to be interesting to see which of the riders head out on track. Of course, our poleman Yuki Ito was one of those to have a big crash as well, and he pulled himself together. He was super fast when he was on track, but
I think even Azlan Shah had a bad crash.
Oh, he did, yeah. He was the final red flag.
Red flag, yeah.
Unfortunately for him. So the one thing that this class has got, it's got a lot of young riders, and not just everyday riders, a lot of young guns. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a look at these young guns and the story of why they're in the championship.
Beyond the podium regulars in the SuperSports 600cc class, a group of young aspiring riders are beginning to make an impact as they flex their muscle in the premier class. Many are hoping that the ARRC will be the jumping board from which they will launch their international racing careers. Remember, you saw them here first. From Indonesia, Andi Farid Izdihar is leading the rookies pack in the 600cc class. Having spent 5 years on the developmental path of the Asia Dream Cup, the Asia Talent Cup, and the Spanish Championship, 2018 marks Andy's first full season in the SuperSports 600cc class. Thailand's Kubo has been popping up more frequently on the talent radar. His phenomenal performance at the 2017 Chennai Lake hinted that this young rider could be a future contender for the Asian crown. Just 2 weeks before we travelled to Australia, this Yamaha Racing ASEAN rider scored a podium finish in the JGP2 class of the All Japan Road Race Championship. Azroy's career to date has mirrored that of his peer, Andi Farid Izdihar. He too has spent a number of years on the developmental circuit in Europe. Although new to the 600cc class, Azroy is often seen as Zakwan Zaidi's successor when the senior Malaysian rider moves up to the 1000cc class.
Welcome back to the track here. Of course, it's 600 time again. Yesterday's race, as we just said, didn't go down to plan like we would have hoped. They had to cut it short, but we saw some amazing racing out on track, and this is what did happen in that race. Everyone was happy at the start as they made their way onto the grid and got ready for what was going to be a shortened race. Nobody knew what was going to happen. Nobody knew what laid ahead. It was a 15-lap race around this brand new bend circuit. The lights went out and the riders hit the track for the first time here at Tailem Bend as they shot down that big, long 1 kilometre main straight and into the first turn. Hard on the brakes it was, and it was a clean start by all until this moment here when a gang of riders went down. This famous 634 Musashi machine was one of those riders, and of course Tomoyoshi Koyama ended up only making it into the first part of the grid. Of course, there's his bike being pushed back, but that was only a small taste of what we were going to see. Meanwhile, up front, there was a couple of riders that were streaking away from the pitch until this happened. Another rider went down, but it was the number 76, of course, Yuki Ito, who took the lead early on. And then bang, Tom Taparis nearly had the biggest crash of his life, and that put him back down the pack. But what a ride through the pack he had to get himself up into third position. There he is on his Kawasaki. Meanwhile, they were going through, and then bang, Yuki Ito, our leader, crashed out, and it didn't look good. But the good news is for Ito fans is he was perfectly okay. That brought out our first red flag, and he got up to fight another day. In fact, he's about to start the race here, and he was fast in the warm-up. So don't worry about this. He's all good, and he's ready to fight again. And
That's the hand.
Yeah,
you can see Ito walking, going into the car and heading back to the pitch.
Yeah, of course, Decha, he crashed out as well and had some issues. And of course, the number 127 machine of Kazma got ready after the restart, and they went at it again. Of course, there was a few less riders on the field. The ones that had fallen off in the first part of the race weren't allowed to start, but it was a pretty clean entrance into turn one. A couple of the riders run wide though as they headed down the back section, and it was of course Tiger Harder who led early on. It was a 9-lap shortened race, and then this happened. That's Brock Pearson, the young Australian who bit the dust. He unfortunately is injured and won't be racing today, but bang, championship hope and leader went down, and unfortunately for him it was all over. That was Azlan Shah, and Fujiwara was having a look, but there wasn't much to see because he went through here and just had the biggest high side of his life. That wasn't what he had planned, because he was thinking a podium was on the cards, but he managed to get back up. But unfortunately, his bike was on the track, and they had to bring that red flag out again. He's got a sore ankle, I believe. What is Azlan Shah's problem?
So I met him yesterday. So the ankle is getting bigger and bigger, but now I think hopefully it will be better again. Then after that, the race direction told them that the race is going to be abandoned and no points will be awarded to all the teams.
Yeah, so that was the final story of the day yesterday. It was an exciting day, but a day of pain and frustration for the 600 teams, because even the winner, or the guy that passed the line first, got no points. So the points stand as they were last time out from Buriram, with of course Anthony West still leading the championship on a perfect score of 45 points, with Azlan Shah on the Kawasaki in second, 32 points. He didn't score any points yesterday, of course, after that crash, but he gets a chance now, because the big talking point coming into this weekend was Azlan Shah and him making points back on the championship lead.
Yeah, I think to Huiling. I think they're going to Huiling now.
Right, let's head down to the grid with Willing.
Thank you, Steve. I'm down here on the grid. It's not as windy as yesterday, and I'm back here with pole sitter Yuki Ito. Ito, yesterday you suffered a crash, of course, but today how are you feeling and how's your bike?
Yeah, very good, because yesterday I big mistake, so yeah, everyone almost danger yesterday situation, but today is a different situation, so maybe can do it. Okay.
All right, thank you so much, Ito, and good luck for your second race. And second on the grid today, it's a new face in the ARRC, hailing from Britain. So Joseph Francis, this is your first ARRC weekend, of course. Share with us how's your entire experience so far?
Crazy. You guys in this championship are very crazy. Like yesterday's race, I don't know what happened, but that was probably one of the craziest things I've ever done. So hopefully they're a bit more calm today, but we should be all right. We've had good pace all weekend, so a bit bashed up from a crash. And obviously I got caught with Azlan's bike yesterday, so that made me crash, but we'll see. It's a very long race, very hot, so see if the tyre lasts, but I think we'll be all right.
All right, thank you and good luck for your second race. And completing the front row is 19-year-old Tiger Hada. And looks like Tiger does not want to speak to us at all, so I'll throw it back to you, Steve, in the studio.
Very much, Wei Ling. We're back in the studio now, of course, and Meng Heng, you've got some tyres to talk about.
Actually, they push the grid up. They push the grid up because Decha and both of them not riding, so they push the grid up, so the grid will be instead of empty, you know.
Yep. Okay, that's
because of Brock Pearson not racing and Decha Cresa.
Okay, well, before we start this race, one thing that we want to do is we want to show you what it's like. We've all watched this circuit from the outside, but
I just had the tyres from.
Okay, one thing we want to talk about though before we get into that is we've watched it from the outside, but let's do an onboard lap around this bend circuit here in South Australia. As you head down the straight, full bore up to 270, 280 kilometres an hour. You get hard on the brakes into this turn one. We've seen a lot of accidents here so far this week, and a lot of guys high-siding on that change of direction. As you head through, you can just see how twisty it is. Second and third gear all the way around. But the undulation is what catches people out. See how blind it is. You can't see where to tip in for the next corner. Left through here, full gas all the way into the major overtaking point, the one that we always talk about, braking down the hill into turn 6. Very tight on the exit here, but we've seen 3, 4, 5 different lines. But then, as we head over to the right, this is my favourite part of the circuit. It goes on right, all the way down the hill, and it doesn't stop yet. It keeps on going all the way around. You're hard on the gas, but you've got to imagine how much pressure is going through that rear tyre. This is where we've seen a couple of guys have those big high sides. Azlan Shah was one of them. And then we head on to the big quick change of direction once again, and then onto the short back straight. You don't get much rest around this 4.95 kilometre corners. That's about it, except for the start-finish straight. A few bumps on the inside there, but then you head up again and you head back down into the final complex. Definitely an overtaking spot right here. And then down the hill, once again, you can nip up the inside. We've seen that. But it's blind again. As you change direction, you've got to get on the gas before you can see the curve on the outside, using all the gas into one of the tightest corners and a corner that creates a lot of action. Watch out for here on the last lap of this race. I'm sure we're going to see something happen. And then through turn 17, coming onto the final corner through turn 18, and you can see that start finish line up ahead. And if you get there and if you do everything right, luckily you might be the man that takes home another new golden helmet.
Yeah, that's an interesting track, you know. So look at the blind corners, you can't see the blind spot.
It's such a technical circuit. I mean, you really when you're out there and you're on track, you just don't know what's coming next. It takes, the Australian guys, obviously remembering we're in conjunction for the first time ever here this weekend, the Australian Superbike Championship and the Asian Road Racing Championship. The Australian guys came here and did a test, and it took them a long time to learn, which means that the Asia Road Racing Championship guys are really a little bit behind the 8 ball. They're racing much sooner without learning the track, but they've all done extremely well. There's our pole man, Yuki Ito. He looked like he was on for a win yesterday. Now, what can you tell me about tyres?
I just got the tyre. All of them are using front hard and rear hard.
So the same as yesterday?
Same like yesterday.
Wow. Yeah. That's it's good to see. We saw this young guy before as well, Joseph Francis.
And then he was saying all the right. Crazy.
He needs to have a look at himself. He's not so normal either. I think anybody that races a motorcycle is needs to have a bit of a look at themselves. But Tiger Hada, he had a good ride yesterday. Of course, the youngster, not even 20 yet, 15 championship points. He got a podium. Well, he qualified in 3rd position. He hasn't had a podium this year yet, and I'm sure that he's got the pace to do it. So he'll be doing everything he can to try and put that right for this 600 SuperSport race. There's Kazma Danielle. How's he going to go?
I think he's doing all right. The thing is that he has to cool down his head. and smooth race, not to really push all out for this one.
Koyama, of course, Tomoyoshi Koyama was looking good yesterday, but looking good in qualifying too, but he didn't get too far into the race before he got knocked off on his famous number 634. Normally carries number 71.
71, yes. Then suddenly changed to 634.
Well,
so a bit heavy for him.
Could well be. Rampton Willerot, of course, has got a famous brother who races in the GP.
Yeah, he used to race Honda last year, so
okay.
He changed to Yamaha.
Yeah,
and you can see he's improving on this.
Have you been able to speak to these guys? Has he adapted to the Yamaha well?
Yeah, I spoken to Ratapong, and he was saying quickly, quite quickly, and they adapt to the R6, the 2017 model.
Irfan, of course, there starts from 7th position on the grid. Didn't get off to the best start of the year, but better qualifying here from him in grid position 8 as he just gets ready for the final time around the final race here of the day. And of course, Ahmed Yudhisthira
crash in first lap. I think turn 1. Yeah,
he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was perhaps the one that caused that melee
with Danielle.
I think he probably needs to just brake a little bit earlier heading into turn 1 for the first time. But you can't. That would have been the first time he's ever raced here and the first time into that corner. So the guys don't know where to brake.
Where to brake, the real braking point is.
Well, he knows it's a little bit before where it was. Of course, there's Rampton Rossley. And just sitting there, getting ready, having his last final calm time as Fujiwara heads off the grid there. Azlan Shah qualified 11th
at the moment, so let's see what sort of start he's gonna get.
Now you
get a good start.
You said you spoke to him and he was got an injured ankle.
Oh yeah, so I think maybe he will try.
Is it left or right foot?
On
the brake side.
Right on the
okay.
ankle.
So not that important. There's Kenneth Kubo, of course. Had a good result in Thailand earlier on with a 7th and a 9th position from him. Some beautiful shots here in Australia by the Asian TV crew. There's Fujiwara, hoping to get a better result than yesterday. Puts a lot of effort into his racing, and what a racer he was back in his day as well. It's good to see these guys just coming and being involved in this championship. I know there's...
Have you raced Fujiwara before?
Yeah, I have, I'm pretty sure in the World Superbike Championship he rode a 750 All-Star Suzuki at some point, and I raced against him then, and then perhaps maybe he did a World SuperSports 600 race for Yamaha factory once, and I think I raced against him there too, so... But like you, I'm much happier sitting here nowadays.
Compared to racing inside that.
Yeah, definitely. Red flag's out. Of course, these boys will head out on a warm-up lap now. Away they go. They'll be making sure to get some heat into those Dunlop slicks. And especially on that right-hand side of the tyre where we saw there were some problems yesterday. But let's have a look at the grid. With Yuki Ito in first position, Joseph Francis takes second, Taiga Harder, who was good yesterday, in third position. Of course, row 2 starts with Kazma Danielle, Tomoyoshi Koyama in 5th position, and Rampton Willerot in 6th. It's Ifran starts row 3, Ahmed Yudhisthira from 8th position, and Ramdan Russell, of course, in 9th position. Azlan Shah starts row 4 with Kenneth Kubo in 11th position and Kisuke Urahara in 12th. Andy Felid in row 5 with Pasawit Thidavarak in 14th position. Tom Tapara starts in 15th. Watch for him to come through the pack. And row 6 is Hakim, and of course Ibrahim Noruddin in 18th position, the Malaysian there. So the last row of the grid is Akir Mohammed and Scott Nicholson, and of course rounding out our grid today is in the 21st position is Patrick Lee from Australia. So we've still got a massive field of riders lining up for what will be the last race of our coverage here today. And do not go away though, because this one is the big one. This is the one that all of the other riders want to end up here in this 600 class. It is the place to be. And some of these riders from Buriram have been in the World SuperSport Championship. They've been racing all over the world, haven't they?
Yeah, they just raced a World Cup in Buriram. I think for instance, Azlan, Shah, Decha, and Ratapong.
Yeah.
Raced the World Cup for World SuperSport there.
Yeah, so they're very, very competitive riders. And when Anthony West can't win in a field like this, it means that these guys know what they're doing, doesn't it? I mean, Anthony West, MotoGP rider.
Yeah, very close racing, you know, so all of them are quite in par together with
absolutely
everybody there.
Just see the field gathering now. There's Yuki Ito as he heads up to take his pole position. Azlan Shah as well.
Anybody interested? What pick you gonna do now? Any pick?
My picks are not going very well. You know what? Can I pick Tom Taparis just because I'm an Australian for the podium, but not a win? Can I do that?
Okay, it'll be fair. That is fair.
But I think Yuki Ito, if Yuki Ito can stay on the bike, I think he's definitely going to be the one to watch. But just let's wait and see. Sam is walking off with the red flag. We're about to start this race now. The lights are off and they're away for the start of the second race here at the Asian SuperSport 600 Championship. 15 laps long, and it's going to be action-packed. That we do know. Number 23, of course, that is Taiga Harder. He led yesterday early on, and he's done exactly the same today. Heads into turn one, much cleaner through turn one this time round than it was last time out.
Yeah, Taiga Harder had a good start. I think all of them have a clean start.
Yeah, it looks like, it almost looks like, I mean, this is the 15-lap race here, of course, is longer than any other race in the weekend, including any of the Australian races. So this is the longest race ever held, but it's Yuki Ito, you can just see the front of his bike there vibrating under brakes as he bottomed his front forks out there on the inside, heading into turn 6.
So I think management for tyres is very important. You reckon, Steve?
Oh, absolutely, especially now. I mean, I know that the tyre pressure is critical, and the other thing that these guys don't have is they don't have any information from yesterday, because they didn't do 15 laps yesterday.
3 laps, I think.
Yeah, they did 3 laps here and then another couple of laps after that. So it's still like it's the first race of the year, but interesting to see. We've got to keep an eye out on some of the fallers from yesterday. Yuki Ito is doing a good job. Azlan Shah, of course, who's a championship contender, is in 8th position out there at the moment. There he is on the Kawasaki. Need to keep an eye on him. Udistra, of course, much better start. He's made it through turn one this time. Scotty Nicholson at the back of the field there too. But meanwhile up front, it's
Yuki Ito.
Yeah, up the inside and made a jump. Oh, someone's run wide there, but once again through turn 17, everyone's through. Yeah, Yuki Ito, what a great move up the inside on Taiga Harder there, having a good run, a good battle at the front. So they head down that straight for the first flying lap, 2:02.3. Of course, I'm pretty sure no lap record would have been set yesterday either. No. Look at the sideways action.
Ratapong is now second ahead of Taiga Harder.
Wow, that's a great move by him as well on the number 56 machine to move up into second place. And Kazma Danielle is doing a good job as well up there.
He's 4th there at the moment.
Yeah.
Following Taiga Harder.
Is that like the sort of position you'd normally expect to see Kazma Danielle as well?
I don't expect actually, but when I came here the first day,
yeah,
he impressed me, you know, but he was 4th qualifying, so
yeah,
I think chances of him going up to the podium is very high.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he does there. Taiga Harder just seems like a very fast starter, but he's just drifting back a little bit.
Looks like the Yamahas are doing better than the other brand. What do you reckon?
Well, yeah, I mean, if we look at, I guess in the Australian SuperSport Championship, the Yamaha there had a good win, so perhaps there's just something about this circuit
that suits Yamaha.
It may be. We have to wait and see. But at this point in time, yeah, some of the other runners are falling back. Toiga Hara on the Honda there, back in third position.
Yeah, but we have a mix of manufacturer. We have Yamaha, Honda, and Kawasaki.
Yep. Yeah, good to see too, Kawasaki there.
Yeah.
No Suzuki's in the field?
No, we don't have Suzuki. Yeah, we have one, Scott Nicholson.
Of course, yeah, Australian guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about him, but good to see him in the championship. But meanwhile, back out front, it's Yuki Ito. One thing that Ito did do well yesterday in the aborted race was he was able to make a bit of a gap early on, and it looked quite promising.
Yeah, he's doing it again right now.
Yeah, it must be, as a rider, it must be something that you worry about when you know that you've fallen off on the tyres and then you've got the same tyres on and you're going to go again in the same conditions, because it's pretty much the same time.
Kasma Danielle already overtaken Tiger Hada.
Yeah, good move by Kasma there.
Yeah. So let's talk about this machinery with the Yamaha, Honda, and
sure.
Kawasaki. I think the Yamaha, like I asked all the boys, because all of them says that the Yamaha looks better, feels better on the track with high speed and all this.
Yeah. And what about aerodynamically? I mean, the new R6.
The new R6 looks good on dynamic.
Of course, it's a great looking machine, and it emulates the R1. And I mean, while we're on the big boys, the big bikes here, there's also some talk in the future of perhaps the 1000cc class coming into the road racing, the Asia Road Racing Championship.
Yeah, it's coming in 2019 next year.
Wow, yeah, so that's going to be a big talking point for these guys as well. Of course, it's the number 76 Yuki Ito at the moment. There's definitely Toiga Hara's hanging in there though on his Honda. A lot less moments than yesterday. Azlan Shah, though, the Kawasaki rider, he's just off the back of the group, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yudistra's in front of him.
Yeah, I think it's 7. Of Koyama.
What do you think about the injury that Azlan Shah sustained? Is it sort of holding him back at the moment?
I think that's on the brake side. So I think it should be alright.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully he's been down to the medical centre as well, and they've been able to sort him out.
For the medical.
Is it the? Are you guys using the Australian medical centre?
Yeah.
Fabulous. Yeah, no, the guys down there are very, very professional, and they're right on top of the game. But out the front, Yuki Ito on the Yamaha is certainly leading away with it. What about the
Irfan? Yeah, Irfan Adiansha already overtaken Tiger Hada.
Oh, yep. So Tiger Hada's working his way backwards through the field.
He was starting first, and now he's back to number 5.
Yeah, it's amazing is that he did have a really good group position in third position, but for some reason it's just for the moment not happening for him in the race. Would these guys set these bikes up for later on in the race, do you think, on worn tyres?
For the next race will be...
No, I mean, would they... okay, so you can set your bike up on brand new tyres so that it goes fast at the start of the race, or you can always use
the
used tyres.
Most of them set the bike sometimes on new, but most probably it's on old tyres.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, but perhaps that's what Tiger Hara has done, and maybe he can come through the pack, I'm not sure. There's Azlan Shah on his ZX6. What are the strong points of the Kawasaki?
I think it's moving around a lot. You see, Azlan Shah is not comfortable with the bike, you can see, with the machine.
Yeah, it's got it seems to have a lot of top speed, the Kawasaki, though. That's one advantage that it does have. But meanwhile, back out front, Yuki Ito has seen the most clear laps.
I think Kasma Danielle is using the old model R6.
Okay, yeah, that's
not new model.
Yeah, it's of course we did mention that briefly. We've got a faller there. Not.
It looks like Patrick Lee.
Oh, Patrick Lee from Australia has unfortunately gone down. So that's the end of his race here in Australia. And Tom Taparas, my pick, is not doing too well either, down in 21st position at the moment. So unfortunately for Tom Taparas. Joseph Francis is in that group in 10th. We've also got another faller. 127's gone down, of course.
Koyama.
No, it's Kasma Danielle. If it's Koyama's gone down too.
Yes.
Oh no,
Koyama gone down.
Yeah, they're all starting to go down. That's the second time this weekend that he's bitten the dust in the race. Once yesterday and once today. So that looks like a big one too, doesn't it? That's unfortunate for him. But back out the front, Yuki Ito still maintains the lead with Danielle in second position and Rathbone Willarot in third with the Ifran in fourth and Tiger Harder maintaining that fifth position. 57.0 last time round lap time, but the fastest man on track and in the 56s is Kazma Daniel. That's a pretty impressive lap time.
56.8, yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Oh!
Bikes.
2 bikes gone down.
Oh, I think we're going to have a red flag situation.
Yeah, that was, we've got an issue there with,
the leg.
yeah, big issue there.
Holding the leg.
Yep, so let's see what...
doesn't look good.
No, see what happens there, but it's he's definitely not moving. He's up and about. So I think that. Did you see who that was?
I think one of the Astra Honda, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll get to see a good look. It's red flags come out again, so that's really unfortunate.
The same corner again, like yesterday.
Yeah, it was the same corner, the same conditions. So unfortunately, that's 6:34. One of the riders that crashed was Koyama. Not sure that was Koyama. We saw him earlier on. Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see who that was. We'll bring you that information as soon as possible.
The crash.
Let's have a bit of a look here.
Oh, both of them go down. I know that is Irfan.
Irfan.
Yeah.
Oh, number 16 it is. It's Irfan who's gone down there. So unfortunately for him, he's got some sort of injury on his leg there, and that has brought out the red flag. And the bikes have come back into the pit box again. And what an unfortunate turn of events here at the bend. It's just something not working for them out there, is it?
Yeah, yesterday they had 3 laps. Then.
Yeah. Okay. So.
So that the safety car is out.
Good to see the safety car heading out there at the moment. Azlan Shah with the tyre warmers going back on his bike, of course, making sure that everything's all right. I think that was Yudistra's bike in the background there, and. The crowd definitely hanging around to watch this 600 race. But for sure, the riders now are all sitting in the pits, just waiting and wondering what the next step will be.
Yeah, I think definitely there will be a restart for the race again.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to cut down the laps.
Yeah, they'll definitely have to cut down the laps, I would say. But, all the marshals and everything out on track, just checking the last little bits and pieces. You can see a few scrape marks there from throughout the weekend where people haven't made it. But in the meantime, everybody is just ready there. The riders just relaxing, the team polishing the bikes and getting them all ready for the hopeful restart, which we'll have once all the debris cleared up and put away. And you can just see everybody there waiting to find out what will happen next. Yuki Ito, of course, was leading that race until the stoppage, but they certainly didn't get enough laps in the can to declare it, did they?
Yeah, at least 75% of it.
Yeah, but what we're going to do now is while we're waiting for the track to be cleared up, we're just going to take a quick break here. And as you can see, it's pretty exciting. So join us on the other side of this commercial break.
can see the machine.
But,
It seems to have a lot of charisma, Danielle. There has to be a
stoppage. Welcome back to our coverage of the Asian Road Racing Championships, and as you can see, we've had a stoppage in the 600 class. The word coming through though is good news. We will be restarting the race a shortened distance, but in the meantime we just need to wait until the grid is reset and everybody is ready to go. We had a couple of riders who crashed and caused the red flag, but we're just waiting to get all that sorted out. But in the meantime, I mean, what are these riders going through right now?
Thinking of how they had a good start again, have a good start, and I think for Kasma, Daniel, he will thinking, you know, he was second just now. Yep. So for sure he's gonna try to go for the win.
I mean, with this shortened race distance now, is it possible to perhaps...
Yeah. Okay, now I can see the official telling them, okay, we're gonna open the pit for 1 minute. They're gonna do a quick start on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think they're gonna cut down the laps. I think maybe they'll cut down to 8 laps.
8 laps?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So that's... yep, he's just heading down the pit lane there, letting everybody know.
The pit exit will open for only 1 minute for a quick start, that's it.
Yeah. But it must be difficult. I mean, like 8 laps, surely that medium compound rear tyre will do the distance at 8 laps, do you think?
I think so, but I don't know. I don't see anybody changing tyres there at the moment.
Yeah. It's probably, you know, probably something that they should think about. Of course, the shower technicians down there in the... having a bit of a look, and I think that's one thing that I'm super impressed about with this championship is the level of support that all the different manufacturers and around the world put into this Asia Road Racing Championship.
You can see, you can see Yamaha, Honda, and Kawasaki. You can see all the factory mechanics and engineers came over and helped all the teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can see that. I just saw once again down there the factory shower technicians and also Olin's.
Olin's, yes. Yeah. All the services for racing suit. Oh, that is I think Scott Nicholson.
Yeah, that's Scott Nicholson, of course, from Australia. Rides for the Next Gen team.
That's the new
up-and-coming rider? Yeah, up-and-coming rider on his Cruzy. It's not a Honda, not a Yamaha, it's a Cruzy.
It's a Cruzy, okay.
And so I'm sure that he's super excited to be here today and watch the action. But he'll go for a little bit of a pedal on his bike over the bumpy outfield while he waits for the 600 bikes to get back on track. A lot of work going on there on the number 23 machine of Tiger Harder.
Oh, I think that's the he crashed. I think the one who crashed.
The other one, yes.
Irfan, yes.
Okay, so
that's why they are doing machine now.
It is really lucky that he made it back, actually, isn't it? Because there is that rule, the 5 minute rule.
5 minutes rule, yeah. If the bike don't come in by 5 minutes, you're not allowed to race anymore.
Yeah. So he's super lucky to get back.
Bring the bike back, yes.
And Toyota Haga, of course, leader earlier on in that race, but he starts this one from the second row of the grid, of course, in 4th position. Pretty good qualifying for him. Just clearing up the track, the last final cars moving off the circuit. That's where that incident was. Good to see the safety team have got it all cleaned up pretty quickly, really. And it won't be long until our Asia SuperSports 600 Championship can get underway again. But just having a little bit of a look at the championship and how it stands at the moment. Anthony West still leads the championship on 45 points.
Yeah, he won the first race in Buriram and the second in race 2.
Yeah, so that was a pretty impressive ride from him at Buriram. But what about Thitipong Warakun?
Thitipong Warakun, he was a wildcard for the Buriram race riding a Kawasaki.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did very well there. He won the first race.
Yeah.
Then I think he got, I'm not sure.
No, he DNF'd in race 2.
Yeah.
But, this is one rider, though, that is up there in the championship, Decha Kreisart. Obviously, he's not taking part in the race today, is he?
Not taking part. Yeah, since yesterday he trying to ride the bike machine, but he can't make it, so he got to stop for the race 2 for today.
Yeah, so was it a finger problem?
A finger problem,
yeah. So he'll be trying to keep his fingers crossed that they cancel the race today, because
I don't think they are going to cancel.
I don't think so either, and I certainly hope not. But for the championship, that's what he'll be thinking right now. But also Tomoyoshi Koyama, one of the fallers, was sitting in 5th position on his number 634 machine. Yuki Ito, who is 6th in the championship, well, he's in a good position to move forward in a big way, isn't he?
Yeah, but anyway, they only have one race. They have only 25 points to collect. So
yeah.
Not like every race where they have 50 points.
No, that's for sure. Yeah. It's definitely a difficult one. As we wait for 4:30 for pit exit to open there, you can see everybody at the ready. That's only a few minutes. We've got a pending start, of course. The grid will be changed around a little bit. We'll just have to wait and see. Will it be a new grid, or do you think?
I think this is the new grid that we are looking at, and
okay.
The screen, and that's the new grid. Then they're gonna count the first race timing, and they're gonna add up with the race 2 timing.
Yep.
So there will be added timing, or maybe the fresh start. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll have to wait and see. It is whatever it is. One thing's for sure: wherever they line up on the grid, we know that after a couple of minutes, the grid positions don't matter anymore, because the riders are all over the place, and with the slipstreaming that you can do on this long track, it's definitely going to be really difficult. There's the Rees family. There's Tony Rees, Mitch Rees and Damon Rees. They're all sitting down from New Zealand, racing in the Australian Superbike Championship. They could have gone home a long time ago, but they didn't.
They still stay back and watch the race. Yeah.
Absolutely, because it's so exciting to watch. And this 600 one has been the one to be. So we'll have to wait and see what will be next. But have you got any more information for us, Meng Heng?
Yeah, I think they're gonna start the new race. Everything gonna be new, but except for the new grid. This is the new grid that based on the lap 4 where they finish.
Okay.
So I think Ito will be first, Kasma and Ratapong will be third.
Yeah, well, that's a great start for those guys, and Tiga Harder will be moved off the front row back to the second row in that case.
Yeah.
And Ute Histra, he's moving up. Not too bad either for Azlan Shah, who will start from the second row, which is better than he was, because he was on the third row before that. Joseph Francis, though, moves from second on the grid way back to row 3, so he must be struggling, because Joseph Francis, he's injured as well, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he had a crash.
I think he injured his leg as well, so I think he's just doing the best job he can to stay out there at the moment. 1 minute the pit lane is open for, so these guys have to be really careful, because that in 30 seconds, if you're not out there, you'll be starting from the pit lane.
Yeah. You're going to start the warm-up lap from the pit lane, but you come back, you're going to race, you're going to start from
the back of the grid. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's really imperative to get up there. It's a bit of a catch-22 situation. You don't want to get up there too soon.
Too soon, yeah. You're going to overheat the engine,
Yeah, and
the tyre getting cold.
Yep, that's right. There's many things to think about. But Looks like, of course, the number 23 Urahara, he was one of the crashers out there.
Yeah, looks like they managed to repair the bike.
Yeah, good to see.
Good to see him out.
Yeah, and we just saw Ramdan Rosali, of course, headed off first there. Scotty Nicholson in that group as well. There's Ito in the middle of the pack, number 1, 2, 3. Pasawit is out there too, and the last man to make it out of the pit box as well. So as they head back round the track, it's a long 4.95 kilometre sighting lap. It gives them an opportunity to take a quick look at where the accidents have been and make sure that it's all clear.
Yeah, all the debris.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm sure there's a lot running through these riders' minds, and Yuki Ito, the only thing he's got in his mind is trying to get that win. Looks like he's on for it. He's definitely competitive. There he is on the number 76 Yamaha, one of the new machines there.
And of course, for Kasman Daniel, he haven't go up rostrum before.
Yeah.
So now it's a good chance for him to stand on the rostrum.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine how nervous he is? He was already in the groove. Everything was looking good.
And the red flag.
Yeah, and then the red flag comes out. Not what he wanted at all. But nevertheless, it's the same for everybody out there. And there's Azlan, Shah as well, Yudhishthira in the background. As they finish off this, they enter the last sector now for the restarted 8-lap race. And just warming everything up again. Must be a few nervous riders out there.
Yeah, of course, nervous, and keep thinking the tires, whether is it warm enough?
Absolutely.
Should I push the first lap?
Yeah.
Or should I wait? You know, all these things come into the mind.
Absolutely. The hands are up as everybody just readies themselves now as they head back round to the grid, of course. And they'll just form up on the grid when they get there. It's a quick restart procedure. Do you want to talk us through that again? The quick start?
Yeah, quick start procedure. When put up, then you go out 1 minute. In 1 minute, you're going to be out.
Yep.
Come back to the grid. All the mechanic will stand in front, hold the bike. Everything is okay. Then the mechanic leave the grid. And then with 30 seconds, then the green flag will wave. They go for a warm-up lap. Then they come back for the race.
Yeah. Well, there he is, Yuki Ito, the man that has led most of the 600 laps so far this weekend. And he led when the red flag. Yeah, he really does have to
do everything back again.
He does. He's a professional. He's probably feeling pretty sore too, because he had a big crash yesterday.
Yeah, big high side too.
Massive high side. Yeah. There's another look at this beautiful brand new motor circuit, the Bend Motorsport Park. It's more than just a race circuit here. There's even a runway out the back, if you can believe it, where a 737 can land.
Is it?
Yeah, so
runway?
You can a runway. Oh. Yeah, so there's big plans for this place in the future. Got to make sure you come back, and if you're watching from somewhere around the world, maybe come and cheer your fans on next year. Come here.
For sure. I think more people are going to come here again.
Absolutely. It's a good place for a holiday, Adelaide.
Yep.
Everybody's heading off now on the warm-up lap for this shortened race to 8-lap race now for the Asia SuperSports 600 Championship here at Tailem Bend. And here's your grid.
That's the new grid.
Yuki Ito. Kazma Danielle, who's never had a podium before, starts from second position. Rathbon will Erupt, of course, on the front row now. Urahara moves back into the second row, as does Yudhishthira. Better result for him so far. Azlan, Shah, who's injured, in sixth position. Ramdan Rosali starts the third row. And Andy Felid Izadhar in eighth position. Joseph Francis is ninth position, so good for him to see. Pasawat Varak in row 4, Azaroy Hakim Anua, and then of course Kisuke Urahara, the Japanese, rounds out row 4. Row 5 is Kenneth Kubo, Mohamed Ibrahim Noradin, and Muzikar Muhammad, the 92 bike in 15th. Amaral, row 6, and Scott Nicholson rounds out the field in 17th position. So still a big field of 600s out there for this race as they head out on their warm-up lap now. Racing will commence very shortly, so make sure you settle in. The ambient temperature outside is 29.2 degrees.
Still warm. I think
still very warm, so it's definitely good temperature for the tyres.
Yeah, even the track temperature is 33.7, I think.
Yeah. What? Sorry, what's the track temperature now?
33.7.
Yeah. Okay, that's definitely good to see. So nice hot conditions for these guys to get out there and get this 600 race.
Yeah, like I said, all of them are using a hard compound, so I think this weather is perfect for this time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. Yeah, because you know, of course, the longevity of the tyres in this circuit, no matter what brand you use, has been due to the fact that the asphalt is so new and aggressive. It's been a talking point. And as they come round now to line up on the grid for race 2 of the Asia SuperSports 600 Championship, I'm still going to stick with Yuki Ito.
I think I'll go for Kazma Daniel.
Well, you know what? Why don't we both go for Kazma Daniel?
Okay.
Seeing as though he's never had a podium, let's get behind him and make sure that give him all the help we can to at least get on the podium so they can get a first podium. And I'm sure that that's something that he wants to do. So keep an eye on the number 127 machine. He was running well last time out. As we get ready for a start, there's Fujiwara, all eyes on the grid. The grid is cleared now. The revs are rising. The lights are out. They're away. Great start from Yuki Ito from pole position once again. And one of the Kawasaki's is that Azlan Shah. He's also got a good start.
Looks like Azlan Shah there.
Udistra on the other side of the track there as well. Good start for him. But once again, sideways action into turn 1, 3, 4, 5 wide. Looks like everybody's through. So that's
like Kazma in front, huh?
Yeah, good job there by Kazma. Great job by Kazma. That's exactly where he wants to be, in front of Yuki Ito. In this part of the race for sure. It's off to a good start because the last thing you want to do is, after starting on the front row of the grid, is having to do all that work again. Now, you've got to think these guys are going to take it easy for a couple of laps.
Yeah, I think for sure they're going to take it easy for the first lap because they knew that the tyres, they're using hard compound, so a bit cold, so definitely they go for one lap now to make sure that the tyre is grip.
The sun is very low in the sky here at the moment as well. Now, some of the riders were worried about that yesterday. Is that a concern today, do you think, or do you think they're just going to get on with racing these motorcycles?
I think they're just going to want to get the checker back and finish the race.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what these guys are thinking about now.
It looks like Ratapong is second at the moment.
Yeah, that's a good job for him. What's his history like?
Ratapong, he's a very, top 3 riders in Thailand for the 600. So in the World SuperSport, he was, I think he got 5th.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, isn't it? Yeah. And I mean, just due to the fact that he's moved back into this Asian Championship, it must it bodes well for the championship, because like all of those riders riding all around the world bring so much into it.
Yeah, I mean, all these riders, some of them have raced World SuperSport race before, so it's
Kazma Daniel, what a great first lap for him. Rathapot Erupt in second position. Yuki Ito, of course, in third position at the moment, and Ahmad Udistra up into fourth. That's the highest we've seen him all weekend. What a great job he's doing at the moment. A little bit wide there from Yuki Ito. Yeah. But he managed to gather himself back up as they head out on the 7 laps to go now on this much shortened race here at the bend. What a manoeuvre by Ito there. He was definitely looking for a way up.
Definitely, yeah. He want to show Ratapong the front wheel, I think. Tell him that I'm right behind you.
Yeah.
I'm going to take you anytime.
Yeah, do you think that's definitely he's playing with the mental status of the man in front?
I think he's doing that at the moment.
Kazma Daniel looks like a very smooth rider out the front there at the moment.
Yeah, he looks smooth.
Just everything under control, nice and smooth, keeps everything tucked in. But Yuki Ito with a little bit of work to do with Rathapong.
The thing for Kazma Daniel, he likes to look behind.
Oh no, really? Yeah. So that's yeah. I mean, he hasn't done it yet. Maybe he's
he's our national 150 champion last year.
You're kidding me. So he's come from the 150 Underbone
and go straight onto this 600.
Wow.
National champion last year.
That's incredible. So I mean, obviously we have more than the 150 classes. Lots of different classes that you have over there. The 150s are here this week.
The blue ribbon. That's
the blue ribbon of the Underbones.
Underbone, yes.
And it sounds like he's won them all, but it's got to be a big jump from the 150
to 600, yeah.
And be in front of a class of field like these guys. I mean, it's pretty incredible. So he's doing a fantastic job out there at the moment. Have you spoken to him to see what the differences are? What does he feel? Do you know?
Yeah, I spoken to him. He told me that in Buriram he feels like the bike is very uncomfortable to ride. You know, he's moving around. But when I came here, I asked him about this track in the machine. He told me everything is perfect.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Of course, he's out there. He's looking very comfortable on the bike at the moment. Not putting a foot wrong.
You can see Yuki Ito is now taking over Ratapong.
Yeah, good move there by Yuki Ito to move up in the second position, straight up the inside of Ratapong there.
Yeah, looking at the time, I think Yuki Ito did the fastest time at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll be wanting to work his way back up towards the front of the pack. The Kawasaki's are coming as well. Ahmed Yudhisthira, we just saw a glimpse of him with Azlan Shah behind him as well. This is a great result for Azlan Shah. He's finally going to earn some good points if he makes that position. Ito's moved up to second position, as we can see there, and Ratapong Urahara just trying to hang on. Of course, the man with the World SuperSport Championship experience sits in third position at the moment.
Yeah, I'm looking at Ito at the moment. He never ride that aggressive before. He's more like a more smooth and consistent doing time rider.
Yeah.
And now it looks like he's getting more aggressive now. He's trying to catch Kasma Daniel.
No, absolutely. I mean, he needs to. He's got to do everything that he can to get up there and try to do his best. But you know, it's not easy out there. That's for sure. Of course, you know, he rides for the Yamaha Asian Racing Team, and he's been in the All Japan Road Racing Championships for quite a while now, since 2013. Finished fourth overall in the Asia Road Racing Championships last year. So I'm sure he wants to get a couple of wins under his belt to see if he can better that this year. Look at this gaggle of riders. Azlan Shah, everyone where they're up the inside goes one of the Honda riders.
Yeah,
but
you can see that's Ramdan Rosli, Kasma Daniel's teammate.
Yeah, actually, a good ride for him. He's definitely trying to make his way through. But back out front, Kasma Daniel's got 0.5 of a second lead on these guys. Great move by him.
I think he did the fastest lap.
Yeah, he did 56.7.
Yeah.
Well, he's used to winning, isn't he? Look at Rampton now. He's right up the inside there on the Yamaha, and he's gone to the front of that group now, right in front of Azlan Shah, and he's starting to pull away a little bit of a gap and stretch that field out. Of course, there's Yudhisthira there, Hakim, Azlan Shah, Pazwit Sitavarak is doing a good job too. This is Tiger Harder. Just remember, he had that crash earlier on. He's managing to hang on there. Only 5 laps to go now in this race, and seems to be pretty controlled.
Yes, another crash. I think that is.
Well, I spoke too soon, didn't I? Who is that? Just hopefully we can see a number anytime soon. But the bike and rider. Oh no, Tiger Harder's gone down. That's pretty disappointing for him.
I think this is Kasma Daniel.
No,
ran off.
No, please don't be Kasma Daniel. We're going to wait and see. Any minute we'll tell you. But it looks like now it is.
Yuki Ito is in front now.
Yeah, Yuki Ito says thank you very much. I'll take that.
Yeah, because you can see Kasma Daniel keep looking behind us now.
Yeah, well, he needs to learn to put his on a track. Let's just have another quick look at what's happened here. Bit of a moment there. You can see the black line that he left. He was lucky to get away with that. Just lost the front there as he went through that corner, managed to save it, picked it up, and got back on track. But he's dropped back to 4th position now, and he's in with there he is with the group now. So he will be really struggling. But what that has done is put Rampton Rustling up into 3rd position as they head down through with 4 laps to go. Yuki Ito in the lead with Rathapon Willarot. What do you think? Who's got the most experience out of these two guys?
I think both of them are equal.
Yeah.
Yeah, both are quite equal.
And what about machinery-wise? Are the machines same machine? It's different.
The new R6.
Different teams though, yeah.
Yeah, different teams.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how Ratta plays this one. But he's definitely taking a different line there, isn't he?
Yeah, you can see Ratamon taking a different line from Ito.
Yeah, just managing to just hang on. I'd say when I look at it, it looks like Ito is perhaps just eking away from it a little bit lap time-wise between the two. 57.2 for our leader Yuki Ito and 57.4 for Rathapon Willarot that time round. Meanwhile, back in the pack, the Kawasaki's are still there coming in, still some good points for Azlan Shah, which is what he needs to do. If he can just stay in that top 10, he'll be able to bring himself further forward, but he must be feeling the pain because Kenneth Kubo has just gone past him, unfortunately. Back at the front, the two Yamaha men, although with different teams, are riding away. Tell us about the two teams.
One is the Thai team from Thailand, Rathapon, and Yuki Ito is riding for the ASEAN Yamaha team.
Okay.
So they got two different teams from Yamaha there.
So, do you think that these bikes have, although they're from the same team, as we just have a look at a little bit of a move there. Number 88 nips up the inside. That's Kisuke Urahara.
Yeah, I'll try to take over to.
Good move by him.
Yeah.
But do you think there's, which team is? I don't want to say which one's better, but are they both, like?
Well, they're quite similar. Everything, all the parts they're getting similar from Yamaha.
Okay, so all the help comes direct from Japan. And there's Hakim on the number 20 machine, of course. A good ride for him. He sits in 4th position at the moment, but it's certainly not an easy 4th. He's got a lot of guys behind him, just trying to eke their way towards the front of this pack as they wind their way around with 3 laps to go. Yuki Ito at the moment out the front. He's not having it all his own way though. And of course, the number 88 again of Kisuke Urahara making his way forward through the pack. And we saw Pasawat before, great move around the outside for him, but doesn't pull it off. These guys are starting to get a little bit serious now, but back at the front, Yuki Ito on the number 76 machine is doing a good thing as they head down.
I'm looking for this Tom Paris. I don't see him.
No, because I think he had an issue and pulled out earlier on. The only Australian in the field now is Scott Nicholson, who's in 15th position. So yeah, it was great for him to move up into the points for the first time ever of the Asia Road Racing Championship 600 class. Probably something that he aspired to. He's a young up-and-comer, so he's out there doing a good job. Definitely not troubling the front runners at the moment, but every lap that he does is one for him. Oh, good move up the inside there.
Touch, I think. Well, that touch.
And that was unfortunate there, but great move up the inside, of course. Kisuke Urahara there with a little bit of breathing space after that. Probably have a little bit of a chat later on too, but it was nice. Here we go. Up the inside goes the number 88 machine and just clips onto the handlebar.
Azlan and
of Azlan there. Yep, and made it through, but boy, how it could have been so different. There, of course, is Danielle, who is probably wishing that he didn't run off the track.
Yeah, I think he's Rustling, his teammate now is on third.
Yeah, he is in third, isn't he? So that's good for Rampton Rustling to make his way up. This is the first time that we've really seen him up in the podium position.
First time, yes.
Is it his first time ever for a podium, do you think?
Yes, I think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's a good rider, of course, is that young man on the number 32 machine.
Yeah, he used to race in Spanish Moto2, the CEV.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good stats for him to have there.
I Looks like Yuki Ito is pulling away from Ratapong at the moment.
Yeah, I mean it's difficult to know what to do now with 2 laps to go. What do you do if you're Ratapong? Do you just like let him go and be safe after all the events of the weekend, or do you attack?
I will definitely try to attack first and then hope that he'll make a mistake.
That's what he needs to do, doesn't he? But the gap at the front,
too big.
Yeah, it's just on a second now.
Yeah.
It's possible, definitely possible. But Ramdan Rosalie is in a clear 3rd position now as they enter the last lap of this shortened 8-lap race. Yuki Ito with a pretty decent little lead at the moment out the front. 1 second. There is that last lap board held out by Brendan Ferrari, of course, the stalwart of the Australian racing fraternity. Meanwhile, back at the front. Oh no!
I think that's Kurikura, I think.
Oh no, that's
Urahara?
Yeah.
Oh no.
123.
I'm sorry. It's Pasawit.
Pasawit. It's definitely not the end of the race that he wanted as they head into this final lap. Of course, that's our 3rd place man, Ramdan Rosalie, and looks like he's heading on to the podium position. He's got a lot of clear track around him at the moment. The 2 men in front are pretty spread out, but Ramdan Rosalie is doing such a good job to continue out there. With only a few corners to go now for him, but it's Ito heading on to onto the last lap now with the lead as he gets only 3 corners to go now. This right-hander as he heads down the hill, and then it's on the brakes for the last time of this circuit because from this point here all he needs to do is open the taps and get himself over the finish line. 1 more corner to go for Ito, then a short burst up the straight, and the Japanese superhero will have won the first ever 600 race finished here at the Bend. And after the crash that he had yesterday, what a result. Ratapong Willarot comes in 3rd position, and Ramdan Rosalie takes 3rd position with Kisuke Urahara in 4th and Kenneth Kubo in 5th position. What a brilliant race for that. And after the day he had yesterday, you've got to say that that was a brilliant ride.
Brilliant ride, everybody, all the riders. And of course, we had only, 1 crash or 2 crash?
Yeah, it was 1 or 2
all
crash.
the riders are right.
Yeah, all of the riders are in good condition, but Yuki Ito is the happiest man here at the Bend at the moment, so it's really, really exciting, really exciting time for him, and the teams are glad that that's over, I'm sure. What do you think?
For sure, every team thinks that the thing is over. So many red flags on the 600, but 3 red flags.
Yeah, but it's all over now. It just goes to show you how relieved everybody is.
Yeah.
But the thing is that finally some points have been put onto onto the leaderboard. Yuki Ito has 42 points. Rattarong Willarot the championship 32 points now, and Rosalie with 23 points. So everyone's starting to make their way up in the championship, and 25 points added on to Yuki Ito. Well, there it is. Yuki Ito wins this one with Ratapong Willarot in 2nd. Ramdan Rosalie takes 3rd position, and Kisuke Urahara in 4th. Kenneth Kubo 5th, and Andy Fred Izdihar in 6th position. Azroy Hakim in 7th. Kazma Daniel takes 8th, and Joseph Francis 9th, with Azlan Shah getting valuable points in 10th position. So that was a good result for him in the end to finally get some points and edge closer to the leader of the championship. Yudhishthira in 11th, Muzakir Muhammad in 12th, and Ibrahim in 13th. Scott Nicholson took 14th, got some more points there, and the rest rounded out the field. So that was your final result of the 600s here, and what was it was a hard day for those riders, wasn't it, to be out there on track. And the crowd, look at them, they stayed to the end to watch because they knew it would be exciting.
So many of them watching the race.
Hang on, watch Yuki Ito. He's taking his hands off the handlebar. He's skilled, and all his fingers work because he's holding up that number 1. And boy, oh boy, is he so happy that that he managed to take that win on his Yamaha. So Rathbone Willerot, of course, second as well. But there is the winner of the race. And boy, can he sort of breathe a sigh of relief. He was lying still on the track yesterday, and we were all worried about him. But as he's proved to us that he's a tough young man, and he's jumped back up and win the race, and that's the way to do it. He's got his Japanese flag there as well, which I'm sure he was thinking about home pride. Good old Yuki's made his way over to the podium area where he's going to be happy. I think he's fallen back in love with his R6 too.
Yes. I think the most happiest guy will be there. Will be
absolutely
all of the three riders there. And now I can see Rampton Rustling. He's so happy.
Yeah, that's a good result for him.
For his first 600cc podium.
Yeah, I mean, really good to see. And I mean, whether it's first, second, or third, he doesn't care. He's up there. He's thanking everybody, and another Yamaha rider on the grid there. And you know, it's always good to get those firsts. And he's ticked one of the boxes today. Yeah. And there's Rathbone, of course, an ex-Honda rider, moving on to Yamaha. And he seems pretty happy about it, as do the team. On the podium, on that Yamaha, and a great result for him.
And we still have the whole
this
Yamaha, 3 position, all Yamaha.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so we said we weren't going to have any triples, but let's head down to Wheeling with our winners.
Okay, I'm down here at Park Ferme with third place finisher Rampton Rustling. Rampton, your first podium in the SuperSports 600cc in the ARRC. Overall, how was the second race? Because we know that there was that red flag situation.
Firstly, I want to thanks to the team, my team manager, all the mechanic that worked hard for me in this weekend, because I had very difficult weekend. I had crash, and then I have mechanical problem with the bike until now. So I'm feeling thanks, and then thanks to my family and all my fans, and very unbelievable race today. Thank you.
Thank you, Rana. Congratulations on your comeback. And finishing in second place today is Rathbone Willerot. Rathbone, your first podium for your new team, Yamaha Thailand Racing Team. You were very strong from the start of the race all the way to the end.
Yes, for today, I'm very happy that I'm coming back on the podium. First of all, I would like to thank you very much to Yamaha Thailand Racing Team. All people, they helped me a lot during the practice or every session. I try and continue better. And thank you, my mechanic, my family, and all sponsors, also my fans. Today, I'm trying really hard to make a good podium. But Yuki Ito very consistent, and he very fast. Congratulations to him for the victory. But for sure, this is the beginning of good for my new team. Next round, I think I will be more strong and I can fight for the victory. Thank you.
Congratulations, Rathbone. Coming in first place today, picking up his first win in 2018, Yuki Ito. Yuki's a great comeback after yesterday's crash. How was race 2?
So very difficult because Kasma is very fast today, so very difficult to catch up for him. But actually he mistake the last 5 laps. So I'm lucky, but he's very interesting rider. So next is I wait him. Thank you.
All right, congratulations, Yuki Ito, and stay tuned, guys, for the podium ceremony.
Well, what a an interview that was down there, hearing from those guys. Rathbone Willerot says he was very consistent. And of course, Yuki Ito, the winner of the race here today. It was a good result for him. But this is how it all started. Everyone was on the grid and ready to go. There was some last-minute deliberation, but the grid was full. That man there, of course, was ready at the start to watch his rider do his best, and he did. Of course, the race got underway in spectacular fashion, as it always does. Slipstreaming galore was the name of the day. They headed down into the hard-braking area, but it was that man, Azlan Shah, who was looking strong at the start of the race on his Kawasaki, and that's where he needed to be too. But Yuki Ito didn't want to have anything to do with any of the other guys today. After the day that he had yesterday, he wanted to get out front, and out front he was. And that was until, unfortunately, this rider went down, and it was the end of him for the day. But Danielle then made his way forward until this moment here, where a couple of riders went down. Pretty sure that was Koyama, and also it was the number 123 of Pasawit who bit the dust at that point. That brought out the red flag, unfortunately, as the debris was cleared up. All the riders were okay and cleared off the track from that one. That brought out this part of the race, the second part, a new race, 8 laps long, and the team headed off again. But once again, it was Yuki Ito who did his best job to get a clear piece of track into turn 1, but some other people had other ideas. Ramdad Rosalie took the lead at that point there, and Kazma took the lead at that point there, but he was on for what would be his first podium ever in this class, and he tried as hard as he could. In fact, it looked like at one point that he was going to lead off and leave the rest of the field behind. Yuki Ito was back in the pack at that point, with Rakapong Willarot in third position, but not to be done. There was a massive pack midfield with 6 laps to go, and then Yuki Ito thought it was time to strike, and strike he did. Turn 1 up the inside of Rakapong Willarot, and thought it made his way forward, but then we had this, another rider down in the field. All okay though, he gets up, but this was the moment that unfortunately he ran off.
Kazma
Danielle. He was on for his first podium ever, and he threw it all the way at that corner there. But Yuki Ito didn't care about that because he was still out in front. And also at that point, Ramdon Rosalie was on for a podium. Number 88 shot up the inside. Of course, that was Kisuke Urahara, and knocked wide another rider. Then the number 123, Pasawat, went down. So that was a disappointing end to the day for him. Meanwhile, back out the front, Ramdon Rosalie was pinching himself at that point because he was on the last lap with no one in front of him and no one behind him in the podium position. But it was this man, Yuki Ito, who had a little bit of a gap and headed onto that straight for the last time at the bend this year, and managed to take the win after laying on the ground yesterday, with Rakapong Willarot in second position and Ramdon Rosalie getting his first ever podium in the 600 SuperSport class here at the Asia Road Racing Championship. So there was definitely a happy feel on the podium at the end of the day here today. And it was just a fantastic result, wasn't it?
I think we're going to go to the podium with Wheeling.
Let's throw down to Wheeling.
This is the podium ceremony for the SuperSports 600cc Race 2. Coming in third place today from Hong Leong Yamaha Malaysia, Muhammad Ramdan Rosli. And in second place today from Yamaha Thailand Racing Team, Ratapong Willarot. And today's SuperSports 600cc Race 2 winner from Yamaha Racing Team ASEAN, Yuki Ito. And we also like to invite a representative from Yamaha Racing Team ASEAN. To join them on the podium. We will now stand for the national anthem of Japan. Mr. Glenn Williams, the president of FIM Oceania, to present the trophy. Yes. Coming in third place today from Malaysia, Muhammad Ramdan Rosli.
There's nothing better than hearing your own national anthem when you're standing up there. And Yuki Ito, a well-deserved winner in the 600 SuperSport class here at the Bend for the first time. The only race that was completed in the 600 SuperSport class.
Yuki Ito.
But he's certainly very happy standing up there, as are the other winners. Rathbone Willerod, of course, got second.
Yeah, I think all of them are very happy to standing on the podium for this Australia band. You know, this is the first time all the teams come in and manage to stand on the roster means a lot to them.
And Peter Goddard is another famous Australian road racer. He's raced all over the world in many different championships. That, of course, is presenting the championships. And there are your results again. Yuki Ito, of course, Rathbone Willerot, and Ramadan Rosley with third position. So that was a pretty spectacular day. Well, the standings look like this. Anthony West still leads the championship with 45 points, and Yuki Ito 42 points in second position at the moment. Azlan Shah has closed up a little bit though, 38 points. It was a valuable weekend for him. Rathbone Willerot did a good job too with 32 points. Kenneth Kubo with 27 points there. Andy Farid Idzar in sixth position. Sitipong Warakorn in seventh. Ramdan Rosley moved up the board as well, as did Hakim and Desha Kreisart. Unfortunately for him, no points due to the fact that he didn't start today. Tomoyoshi Koyama had a weekend to forget as well. Kisuke Kihara in 12th position. Yudhishthira not bad in 13th. Taiga Harder, a good job, as was Zakwan Zaidi in 15th position. Kazma Danielle could have moved up more if he'd have won that race, but wasn't to be this weekend. Irfan was there as well. Joseph Francis in 18th. Pasawit was up near the front throughout the weekend. And down in 20th position, we've got Muzakia Muhammad, so from Malaysia, with 20th position on 4 points. That was a pretty impressive amount of points. Now we're heading to Suzuka, the circuit in Japan, of course, 1st of June to 3rd of June. So if you can't be there in person, you've got to make sure that you just catch us on our live streaming, or also on Fox Sports and all the other channels around the world. But make sure that you're there anytime that you can. Now, thanks for joining us. We've really enjoyed being here at Tail and Bend in Australia. Let's get to Australia. Thanks from Australia, and we'll see you in Japan next time out.